Talk about major backfeed there.
Major backfeed here, reporting for duty. Welcome all to the Wikid Weekend Podcast. We got episode 14 here for you. I'm joined by Jeremy and Chuck. Hey guys.
Hey.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Once we figured out this Google Hangouts thing.
Hey, at least we got it figured out before we started this time, right?
For sure. 100%.
And how about you, Chuck? How are you doing?
I'm actually doing pretty good. Yesterday, I had a paper to work on, but I was able to stop by my LCS. I picked up, a couple floppies. I got the new Punchline, and I got the next trade of Nail Biter. So yeah, I think, and I also got the newest Batman and the Justice League manga too. So I didn't get out of this LCS spending almost less than $100. Which always tends to be my trend, between that and the video game store. I never get out less than spending $100. So,
although when you're at a comic store, that $100 usually means a lot more books than video games. The number of video games you do.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because I got four floppies, and because I got Punchline, Batman, Catwoman, and one other one I had. The latest one in the Strangers in Paradise, that links by Terry Moore. That links
5 years left or something.
Yeah, 5 years later or something like that. Yeah, so I got that because I'm a huge Terry Moore fan. I love his work, especially if you guys want to see a guy who has evolved as an artist. From back when he first did SIP. But yeah, so yesterday was a good day. Now today I get to work on after the stream. I'll get to start a 7-page white paper for my class. So
what? White paper?
White paper, yeah. So because I'm in, they're called in cybersecurity and in IT, papers are called white papers.
That's similar in the policy world. If it's a working paper, it's a white paper.
Why white? What does that denote?
I don't know what it's sectioning it off of, but it just kind of means a working paper.
Yeah.
This isn't like a published in a journal paper yet. Okay. It's sort of like I won't say we're bullshitting, but it's like we're spitballing, right?
Yeah.
This is our best, thing we can cobble together on this at this point.
That's interesting. It seems like a lot of the people I talk to online, I've heard other people like talking about being in similar industries as you, Chuck, which is it's really interesting.
Well, it tends to be a good field to get into. I mean, it's going to become more and more common because right now, last numbers they said on the IT field, especially in the cybersecurity end, is $170 billion for 2019.
Jesus, that's a big industry.
That's a chunk of change.
Well, it's an important industry because a lot of people don't realize, really, it's a back and forth game. As hackers get better, the pen testers and everybody else have to get better.
Yeah.
So,
I needed to say something to you, Chuck.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
For what?
2.5K busted.
Yeah.
Man,
Thank
dude.
you. Thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah, so I definitely wanted to talk about where we're at and kind of give people an update. For the people who are listening now or will be watching later, what's going to happen with the campaign, and some other stuff. So
yeah, cool. So why don't you tell us what's been going on with the campaign a little bit?
I was going to give the floor to Jeremy first. I didn't know people.
That's so cool.
Okay.
We got movie men going on right now too, so a lot to talk about.
That's true. So Movie Men, it's now at 71%, I think, funded. It's that's just like 1,400 and something. It needs to get to 2,000. It's got a short month. It's got 28 days left to do that. That's doable, and we'll keep chugging along. There's going to be a few announcements forthcoming. One of them, I'm just waiting for some artwork. Wink, wink, Chuck. And let's see what else. Yeah, I don't know. And by the way, happy Free Comic Book Day, everyone. Some people think it's a great day. Some people think it's less great, but I think I love free comic books. Though in my house we call it Halloween.
Alternate now, I suppose, right?
Yes. But yeah, I mean, it's I look. We're this is partly a business and it's partly a passion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like for instance, out in front of my house, within a couple of weeks, we're going to get a little free library thing installed. Those are boxes that you put books in, and people can take books out of them or leave books if they want, I suppose.
Mm.
There's going to be a lot of comics in that a lot of the neighbor kids are going to be snatching on a regular basis. So, yeah, I mean, it's a nice, sunny, good comic.
Yeah, I would like to maybe get a Wikid Comics into a free comic book day at one point, just for the mere publicity of it,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean the thing Alterna tried a couple of years ago that with Amazing, or maybe it was last year, with Amazing Age Number 0, Alterna was rejected because there are certain criteria that have to be met, and they met them all, but Diamond rejected them anyways. And so they said, well, forget this, we're still going to be part of Free Comics Day, and so they crowdfunded the 0 issue and sent it out to tons of comic stores that carried it, and worked out great.
It's cool. Yeah. And sometimes it just works out like that.
Yeah.
Well, here's something. If you guys wanted to get involved with Free Comic Books Day, we do have our ash can for Sporkman.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So we could always do to the rescue.
I'm not familiar with the ash can.
So the ash can, I told you about the ash can. It's the one.
I've forgotten. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. It's the 10 page. Remember, it's the 10 page. It's like a little mini at the back of the. We were doing it on the conventions, like we kind of.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
And then for the Wikid release, we decided to forego the ash can because we kind of wanted to do things a little bit different. And I think, Jeremy, you actually have, because you bought conventions. I think you have it at the back on your copy. Yeah,
I believe so. Yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay, nice.
Yeah, so it's a little 10 little page ash can. I figured, if next year we want to do it, we can, we could probably plan on that. I mean, I'm open for it. We don't, we sell for $1. You know what I mean? So, I mean, if we want to go that route, it's something we could think about.
That'd be cool, actually. Yeah. Anyone who would want to participate that'd be a good way, I think, to get our name out there into stores. So, it would just be a matter of talking to stores and seeing who'd be interested, I think. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, you're getting closer to your finish line, Jeremy. How do you feel about your where you guys are at right now with Movie Men?
I mean, it's a good place to be. 70% funded with 28 days to go.
Nice.
But that's one of the look. There's a lot of debates about Indiegogo versus Kickstarter. But I wanted a long campaign. Partly just because I could make some adjustments along the way if I needed to. I've made some, and I'll make others. Yeah, I mean, I wanted a long campaign, and I think that's, the one thing about that is it's kind of nerve wracking sometimes, because you go a day or two, maybe 3 without any contributions, and you're like, what's happening? Has everyone forgotten me? Oh my god! And then, they remember you, and the great thing about long campaigns is that it spaces it out so you can have 4 or 5 paydays in that time and people can get you eventually.
Yeah, that is pretty nice. Yeah.
I would agree with that. Echoing, I found once again because last year when we ran our campaign, and now we're seem to be in this really weird spot. Like normally Indiegogos they tell you, or Kickstarters and Indiegogos they tell you crowdfunding don't run more than 30 days. Because they say by day 30 the numbers drop off. But for some reason, why I'm actually seeing the numbers, at least on our end, kind of work in our favor. That's where we're starting to see, like, being we're having the extension. A lot of people are like, the people who wouldn't have backed, like, because we would have ended on May 1st. Well, we would have lost like maybe 6 sales already if we didn't extend it. And I know a lot of other people, one of the reasons why we did extend it, I'm sure this is why Jeremy thought about this also in the head. They're because of the people and how the pays have laid out. They're like, hey, well, I can't back here, but I can back here definitely on this day, which might be the last paycheck of the, that might be the last day in that May or something like that, and that's when they could do it, and that's day number 50 for the campaign or something like that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And another thing is I also look, I want to get funded. I want to get as much money in my campaign as I can, but there's a lot of other campaigns. I mean, Sportman is one of them that I want to see get as fully funded as we can get them, and I wanted to make sure that there were a lot of pay periods they could drop Movie Men into. And if they needed to get something that was about to close and hadn't been funded yet, they could do that.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the great things. I think what we're doing is, and this is one thing I really like that we're doing with Wikid, we're spacing our Indiegogos out fairly good. And when I say Indiegogos, I am talking about Kickstarter, by the way. Because we had us and Jeremy, okay. Then you had towards the end of the month we had Mythoverse. And then, and then we have the Mythoverse, and then we have Scott with his. So we're running, 2 campaigns at the same time, but we got enough flexibility for people to back all the projects.
Yeah. Agreed.
So, that's an interesting point. Actually, we're going to be talking to Scott, Scott a little bit later about his campaign as well. But there's a lot of wicked stuff going on right now.
Yeah.
Exciting times.
It's how funded is Scott's campaign now? I haven't seen
that's a good question. I haven't.
Let me pull it. I can pull it up.
Okay.
Yeah. Give me 1 second here. Last night, I know when I was doing the review, he was like at 259, I believe, or 258, something like that. So he was almost to $300. For not even for a full day. 258.
Okay.
So
yeah, and he opted for a longer campaign too. So he's got a 45-day campaign. I encouraged him to do that for a couple of reasons. One is that the ads that we have in Alterna Comics they've been delayed by Diamond being idiots. They lost the like weeks worth of Alterna Comics that would have had all of our stuff in it, and it's going to be another couple of weeks until they can get in there.
Are our books out for your guys' ads?
Yes,
those are out. Okay.
No, they're not out. That's the thing.
No,
not even yours?
They're not out. No, not even ours.
You're kidding me.
Yeah, it got delayed. It was going to be the end of April, and instead it's going to be the middle of May. Yeah, because Diamond lost them.
That's so shitty, dude.
Wow. So how did, and this is one thing that's really frustrating. Both you guys, I wanted to ask you this. So as creators and like as a publisher, how do you feel with Diamond? Like literally, in my opinion, this is like I have this huge issue with being like shadow banned on Twitter because it's stopping people being able to find us. Mm-hmm. I see this active suppression from these bigger companies, be it Twitter with their shadow bans, Diamond playing theirs like, oh, we lost the comics.
I mean, they may have legitimately lost them. They do lose a lot of comic books.
Yeah, okay.
That's not acceptable for a company. No,
it's not acceptable.
If any other company, if there was not a monopoly going on right now, they would be out of business by now.
Yeah.
There'd be no excuse for that. Because they have the monopoly on the market, no one can do anything about it.
Yeah, I mean, they lose. Everyone's going to lose comics eventually or occasionally, right? But if you do it all the time, people are going to go to someone else.
If that's the thing. That if there's no one else to go to, they're stuck. They've become essentially tethered to this company with no options to go to, and that's where most local comic shops and most publishers, that's where they're all at right now. Is they're basically at Diamond's whim, and there's no one else to help them.
Yeah. Well, give Alterna a couple of years to get all
distribution up. Yeah, I think it's so important. Alterna's distribution plans, companies like Emerald Distribution, and these newer distributor companies that are popping up. I think that's going to be a really big deal because Diamond either needs to get their stuff together, or really, I don't think it's good for the industry right now.
Yeah.
I said last night because Bob Jones and I were talking. We both agree that I think that Diamond is going to start ratcheting up an attack against Alterna. This is just my opinion because they don't like other people stepping into their grounds.
But honestly, the place that Alterna is at right now, if that cut them off from comic book stores through Diamond, they still have distribution to like 100 comic book stores right now. And I think that more would end up picking it up if their distribution got cut. And that honestly, the direct market is it's an income stream, but it's not even the biggest income stream for Alterna right now. That almost might be a sort of don't throw me in the briar patch kind of a thing.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Brett says Vince McMahon is less than a scumbag than the people who run Diamond. Yeah, and Vince is actually, I've heard from that Vince is a very hard boss to work with.
Yeah.
That's kind of funny. Yeah.
He looks less scary than they do probably too.
Yeah.
He's the WrestleMania guy, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he runs the WWE. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, which a lot of us still occasionally call the WWF because we think that the World Wildlife Federation should not have gotten that trademark.
I'm actually right there with you, bro. 100%.
So
WWF.
Yeah, so they originally were called the World Wrestling Federation.
And
they got sued because of the trademark. They owned the WWF. Well, they got sued on the trademark from the Worldwide Wildlife Federation, and they won their case. So that's how they had to change their name. On the trademark.
That makes me want to throw someone off a stage and hit him with a chair.
It doesn't. Unfortunately, I have to say that when putting wrestlers up against cute animals, it's hard to get the public on your side.
I suppose there's that.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Well, and that's the thing. So we're just in a really great spot, I think. But I think at the same point, there are some things we got to watch out for in the industry. Kings don't like to be on throne, and they can be dirty.
Yeah, no, that's true.
When you play a Game of Thrones,
you win or you die.
Yeah. Well, I think at the ultimate day, I think it's going to be the LCSs that are going to end up, hopefully, changing because like you said, they're in 100 stores. Okay, well, what's the next step? All these other publishers, like you said, Emerald. Hopefully, you guys, that you'll be able to sneak in there and kind of say, no, you know what? We're sick and tired of your dirty practices. Hey, come to us. We can get you good comic books. And you do the return. Like we were talking about the things that need to be implemented is like the returning of comic books again, getting them into the spinner racks and, all these different things,
Exactly, yeah. Doing the groundwork and making sure it gets done right and on time.
Yeah.
I think that's super important. And I think that's why the benefit of a smaller company comes to, because even though you have lesser number of employees, you can devote more attention and more time to the clients that you do have, which ultimately means you're going to be giving them better service.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably what Diamond maybe just grew too big. Maybe, who knows? Maybe they're just too big to contain.
Well, they're not growing anymore. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I mean their predatory practices, which is I'm just surprised that nobody has really challenge them on anything because, the fact of, if something happens, like the publisher, like, for instance, like if something happens with something, I think Peter has to pay for issues, like, if they don't sell or something like that, or, you're holding the publisher at fault for what Diamond does.
Yeah. Yes, I think that they do engage in some of what people would call predatory practices, but they've undergone some antitrust scrutiny and so far passed it. If Peter ratchets up Alterna, distribution, if Diamond were to try to keep him out of Diamond distribution, that would be illegal, and he'd have a very good case.
Yeah.
Now, this might not be illegal, but what they do is definitely it definitely hurts the bottom line, because what they do is they charge they basically tell you how many to print, how many are going to be, how many are going to be distributed, and if it's way too many and it's over your what your overhead is, they don't care. They're going to do it anyway, and if you don't sell them, they're going to destroy them, and they're not going to get any money on that. So they do a lot of things that are just really not good for creators.
Well, they do a thing that one of the things also is that they're supposed to do reorders, right? And Peter and a lot of other small publishers have had tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of reorders just canceled by Diamond because they're like, we don't feel like it. They're like the worst reorder service in the world.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's really bad.
Yeah,
So,
for sure, 100%.
Do you watch the there's a comic book guy named comic book store owner named whose pseudonym is Perch? Do you watch his YouTube channel at all?
I have not been able to catch the show. I follow him on Twitter, but I haven't seen his show yet.
Okay, it's a very, very valuable channel. I would encourage everyone to go watch and subscribe to Perch. And he both there and elsewhere, he talks about the business of comics,
Really?
But he also does a lot of reviews, and I like the what he does in his reviews. What he looks at it as a retailer who's trying to connect a book to an audience, right? And so he tries to say, like, who would like this book? How would this appeal to people? It's a very it's a very good way of dissecting it, I think.
So he doesn't flat out say, well, he doesn't do a ya boy thing. He said, this sucks, monkey balls, and wouldn't sell, So he tries to connect to the audience to see who would like it, possibly.
Yeah, that's true. But he'll also talk about the problems of, you created a problem to connecting here,
Right.
Yeah, it's a very sort of a mechanical, it's almost like he's being an editor, and say, or a publisher.
Here's what works, here's what doesn't work.
Yeah, like here's how you're not connecting with people, folks. I think it's pretty great. But one of the things that he's talked about with other distributors than Diamond is, he says, look, there's the price point that can be an issue, but the real issue is make it very simple for us to order, and make it very simple for us to reorder. Have processes and forms and whatever else in place that makes it really simple. Hold our hands.
Maybe a website would be a good way to do that.
There's that. So I think that's something to take for a lot of indies to take to heart.
That's smart.
Okay?
Yeah.
If you want to deal with the stores, price can be an issue, but also make it really, really simple for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's actually really, really great advice. Actually, because that's what they're getting with Diamond. So that if you want to get in under Diamond or get into stores where the Diamond is already getting them, that's what you're going to need to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, heavy talk.
For sure. So I know you were asking about our campaign. So right now we are almost at 2,600. We have 61 backers. We still have 10 days. I know we got a few more people that are going to be back in here over the next couple days. I know some people have said they can't, they had to hold off due to financial reasons and stuff like that, and this month kind of seems like this is where hopefully we should start seeing some in. So basically what my goal is, if we can get close to, so we have basically, just to give everybody an example, so coloring is fully paid for. Okay. The base level for, our Gingers and I's agreed price. So if I can get to $3,000, that will give her a raise and get her, a little bit extra money to do what she wants, she needs to do for the comic. So what's going to happen is if we don't make it, I'm going to fund the difference. Just so she can get, just so she can get it. I'm also good. Meanwhile, while we're doing that, because I did hear there are some issues with Indiegogo paying out people right now. I don't know if you guys heard that or not. So
it's been a little delayed on some campaigns.
yeah, because I guess they're doing a review process and stuff like that. I don't foresee hopefully that being any problem with us because we're an all age comics. So I don't think that's going to be much of a problem.
It's usually, I mean, as far as I can tell, it's it seems to be a problem if there's a political thing connected with your. It's not all. This isn't in all cases, but I mean, like Rebel Yell was just canceled by them, which is very much a political thing, and I don't.
Is it political because of the title?
Well, I mean, you have a guy with a Confederate flag on his face. It's called Rebel Yell. I haven't read it, but I'm just saying that it gives off very political vibes.
Okay.
It's like a pro-Confederate comic, basically. Is the way that some people would read that.
Okay.
And so, I honestly, I remember in comic shops in the 80s where there was a comic book called Captain Confederacy. I like read an issue of it. It was dumb, but it didn't. It just seemed like it was dumb. It wasn't worth like getting too pissed about. But I mean, I also grew up with Dukes of Hazzard, with the General Lee, and I didn't I weirdly I grew up being taught that racism is bad, but watching the Dukes of Hazzard, in which they did think racism was bad, but you still had this car with a Confederate flag on its hood or on its roof, and so it took a while until I realized how offensive some people found that symbol, because I'm just like, what? It's the General Lee. Who cares?
Yeah. Yeah, so so basically, so our goal is, so like I said, so I want to give her a little bit extra money because she deserves it. You know what I mean? She is hold on, give me 1 second.
Okay. So how about that Jeopardy guy?
Dude, are you all right? Oh my God, he's killing it.
What do you mean that Jeopardy guy?
This dude, have you heard of him? Have you been following along with it, Chuck?
No.
This guy's been playing for I don't know how long, but he's got over $1 million, $400,000, and he just wins every freaking night. Every night.
He doesn't just win. He does he'll do the double Jeopardies and risk as much money as he possibly can.
Yeah, he's crazy, dude. It's insane.
So
yeah, what you were saying about giving your artists more money potentially?
Yeah, so if we can get to the $3,000 limit, we want to give her a little bit more. So meanwhile, what we're also going to do is we are going to run a short campaign on Kickstarter. I'm going to do only 25 days. That's just going to be a little bit extra, just to hopefully pull in some extra money. Because there are some people that don't, they're platform specific. So I want to test that out and just tap in to see how it is, just to see how that that funding would go on that end. Now, like I said, we're not going for crazy 5,500. We're only doing I'm only doing a flex goal, or the goal of 500, which I think is more easy doable on there for those who don't want to back on the Indiegogo.
Yeah.
Okay.
For whatever reasons, but that will be enough to kind of come in, and that would finish out some things that we need, like paying for getting the posters done and stuff like that. So as it stands right now, unless we make the 5,500 here on our side, we'll probably have to go with the original lettering, which is a downside. I would really like to redo the lettering on it, but we got to cut costs where we got, because I want to get this book out to people, because I want to move on.
The next sport. Yeah, no, I totally get that.
Yeah. So I want to move on to the next sport, because also on top of doing the next sport, Troy and I are now in the process of working on a story that he pitched to me for his version of the sport character in his world.
What's her name?
Aki.
Okay.
Huh. Sounds cool.
Yeah, she's the daughter of Sporkin Natsumi, and so we kind of are tossing that idea. He gave me some of the overview ideas that he likes, and so I'm going to start working on that. So hopefully maybe next year we might have 2 comics coming out.
Nice, yeah, that's awesome, man. Now we're joined by Ebi Canales. I just wanted to say, hey, Canales, thanks for joining us.
Buenas tardes. Thank you for inviting me.
Does that mean you're tardy? You're late for the party?
That means I'm slightly retarded, but that's just normal for a Spaniard.
Nice. Well, thank you. I understand you're taking taking time out of your busy schedule to see us since you're planning to go see Endgame tonight.
Yeah, that's correct. I mean, I'm already fed up with all the spoilers I've been reading, so I said, "What the hell? I'm gonna go watch this thing and get over with it."
Spoilers are the worst. I hate spoilers.
Yeah, I'm not all that invested in Marvel movies anymore. I'm kind of fatigued by now, so I really don't care. But everyone's talking about it.
OCD with the Marvel movies, man. I think it's just the I just gotta check off those boxes, man.
I really enjoyed Endgame, but the way that they were like setting up what comes after, I'm like, I'll be more selective.
I can understand that. I can understand where you're coming from with that. Yeah.
I think the only Marvel movie that I will be watching after Endgame will be Black Widow, and only because the villain is apparently Taskmaster, which is one of my favorite Marvel villains.
Okay.
Taskmaster. You mean the guy from what is that? The Mad Max movies?
No. Taskmaster he's got like kinetic memory, and he can remember like everybody's fight moves and stuff like that.
Huh. Interesting. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that character.
So, yeah, he gets better and better as he goes.
Yep.
Well, that'd be cool. Yeah.
Taskmaster is probably one of the best Marvel villains, in my opinion.
I agree. I mean, he's really special because he doesn't have really any powers except all the powers that he may want, physically speaking. As Spork said, he can watch you fight once, and he already knows how to fight like you. So, he's basically invincible. If I bet he's like me. He spends his spare time watching fight scenes in YouTube and all that and stuff like that.
That'd be a pretty smart thing because he could just get their abilities just through watching a YouTube video, right? I would think.
Dude.
Or the Matrix when he gets jacked into the system,
Yeah,
all
those
moves get uploaded into the system, into his brain.
Man, he's gonna kick Scarlett Johansson's ass.
For sure.
Well, he would. I know he would have been able to kick Scarlett's ass like 5-10 years ago, but now, after Disney has taken over Marvel, I don't know, man. I think all women will.
You gotta remember though, she was a KGB agent. Those people aren't easy.
I'm not saying she's a slouch. I'm just saying that she doesn't have any powers or anything. She's just a
actually, Black Widow is one of my favorite Avengers because she's just some girl that knows how to fight and knows how to shoot, and she has to fight side by side with mutants, gods, and super soldiers. And she's like, oh well, I guess I'll just shoot somebody.
And the other thing, a lot of her stuff, like one of the reasons why I like Black Widow, it's the same thing with Hawkeye. These two humans surrounded by all these gods and stuff like that, and they're like, they can stand toe to toe with them.
Yeah, I like that they're like the average guys in the team of super dudes, like the everyman. I like that.
Yeah.
Real quick, just want to say, Brett says in the comics she's got a serum similar to the Captain America serum. Oh, that's interesting.
Really? Okay. She always seemed kind of normal to me.
Yeah, I thought she learned. I thought she got everything because she was learned in the KGB and in that school that that trained her to.
Yeah, the Red Room or whatever.
The Red Room. Yeah.
That's probably interesting. I wonder if they did change that from the movies, maybe.
No.
But
I don't know. I like the idea that she's extremely tough just because she works out a lot and she trains a lot. Kind of like Batman.
Mm-hmm.
And a certain artist.
That too.
All right, Canals, can you take him or take her rather? Sorry, can you take her in a fight?
Yeah. I think I can. I keep saying I don't discriminate my opponents. I only pay attention to how much they weigh.
That's a good way to do it. Yeah. But back to comics and stuff. What have you been up to with your comic wise? Your comic work, Canals.
Well, right now I've been I'm still illustrating Iron Sights 2 for your boy Zach.
Nice.
I just finished page 32, I think that was. And I'm trying to promote Necromancer like crazy. I just saw a video and Chase from Gateway into Comics just plugged it in one of his videos. So I'm pretty happy about that.
Cool.
Nice, dude. Yeah, that's
Thank you,
exciting. 32 out of 100 and what? 120?
You mean the goal?
No, for sorry, going back to Iron Sights. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, you mean the page count?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Zach said that it's going to be shorter than the
Oh,
original.
really?
It's going to
Oh,
be like, yeah, it's going to be 80 pages,
Okay.
but he plans on showing it to a friend of his that who's an editor, and he plans on adding or subtracting pages depending on what this dude tells him, and I think that's a good.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Cool.
Yeah, dude.
Can we show the Tombstone Necromancer Tombstone Blues Indiegogo to people?
Sure. Yeah, we
But
put it up.
of course, I might even try to do that screen share thing that you young whippersnappers can do with your computer fingers.
Oh, I got you covered, man.
Okay.
Save your fingers. Save your fists for the fighting. I got the typing covered.
Thank you. Yeah, my hands are kind of tired of all that drawing and punching people. I could give them a rest.
So here we got the campaign up on the screen.
There you go.
Nice, looking good. We got 11 days left at 75%. Fixed goal.
Yep.
Looks like you guys are doing strong. Looks like I think you guys can do it.
Yeah, I think I think that me not being on Twitter has made this campaign suffer, but I'm trying to make up for it by being particularly obnoxious on Tug's super section and all that.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, Canales, because like I don't see like this project like really. Well, that's one of the reasons why I was asking, because I don't see Jacob out there. Kind of like I don't even know who Jacob is, and I don't see the project kind of being promoted. So I was like wondering, okay, how are they getting, coverage?
Hardly. That's your answer. We're hardly getting any coverage. But yeah,
Right.
I guess Jacob is kind of like me. We're both really private citizens. But at least I'm trying not to be. Jacob's like, okay, it's like he's mildly autistic, I think, just like me. And I think that's why we get along. We're both
Right.
autistic. But yeah, I mean, luckily we have friends in Comicsgate and on social media that will promote it for us, and they have my undying gratitude for that.
That's great. Yeah, it's good to have friends in the community like that can have your back like that. That's cool, but I love this project. I backed it a while back, and so I'm really hoping it gets funded. Even if it's not this time, I would encourage them to come back and even do more promotion this time. Maybe you go on more, try to get on more streams, and
yeah, I mean, I tried to appeal to Twitter, and maybe they will let me back in. Oh, actually, no, they won't. Nice. I just got an email less than 24 hours later. They told me that no, I'm staying out because my joke was apparently a credible threat of violence. There you go. Yeah, I don't know, man.
But yet they allow. I don't get that. They ban you, ban James Woods. Yet they let ISIS and all these other people have Twitters.
My question is, how do they even know it's you? Like, how could they physically stop you from creating another account? How's that even possible?
IP address.
Siri, could you just get a virtual private network?
That actually would mean that they are bound by logic and reason and principles. They're not. I think they will ban anything that barely resembles anything Canales related. Because I had my intern open a new account with a different IP and they still banned it. So they really don't give a crap. If they think that's me, if the angry mob convince them that it's actually me, regardless of the IP, regardless of the name or whatever, that account is gone.
I wonder if they have like files on you, like images of your art, and they're like, oh, that's Canales art right there. We gotta take that account down.
Maybe.
That would explain why I'm shadow banned.
Yeah, dude, it's really weird.
No, you're right. I'm pretty sure that there's some kind of algorithm involved.
Yeah, that's bizarre. but
Maybe the way you write, the way you use words or whatever.
I don't know.
Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit more about this? Like, so who's the main character?
About necromancer, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, the main character is a dude called Gregor Mortem, and he's a necromancer for hire, so to speak. He's kind of like an old school noir detective, except his main power is that he can communicate with the dead,
Mhm.
and that helps him in his investigations. He's also able to project like force forced weapon constructs, so to speak, like the claws and the chains that you see in that picture.
Mhm.
And he's an orthodox necromancer, which means he's allowed to communicate with the dead but not raise them. If you raise the dead, you become an outlaw, like a renegade necromancer, and you must hand down. That's a plot point later on in the story.
Okay.
That's really awesome. I like the world that you guys have built.
Oh man, Jacob's amazing at the world building and backstory and all that. This you could really, I think it's in the pitch, but if this comic is successful, he has more planned, and he plans on taking Gregor on a tour of the whole world that he has created, including the World War type conflict that it's talked about in the background.
Cool.
That's cool. Yeah. I love that shot right there. That's one of my favorite shots that I've seen so far. Just the
Yeah,
it's like it's it totally I don't know. It's like at the fantasy element, but it's got the like I love crime stories. I'm just a huge big fan of crime fiction, so it totally kind of gives me the vibes of that.
Yeah, that was what we were going for, the whole noir magic aspect. It's
Nice.
kind of, I keep saying that it's kind of like Bright.
Hmm.
It doesn't suck as much.
That's a good way to look at it. Yeah.
Did you? So you're fast becoming a crime, the crime artist, the go-to guy, right?
Yeah, I know. I guess it's because I know how to draw guns and action scenes and angry people, I guess.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
And people in pain. It looks like that guy looks like he's not having a good day.
Yeah. I think the not having a good day guy, that could be my motto.
Oh man. Well, that's cool. I'm really excited about that. I'm hoping you guys are able to get past your goal and even farther than that. Do you
Yeah,
guys
man, I wouldn't mind going back to this world. I really enjoy drawing it.
Nice. Do you guys have any stretch goals planned out at the moment?
There's several. Let me check, because I totally
Yeah.
should check this out and check
Is
this
it on
more.
the page here somewhere I can pull up?
Well, let me see. Story.
I don't see stretch goals
No, I
listed
don't,
here.
no, I don't think we have a stretch
Oh,
goals.
really? Okay, interesting. So it's all or nothing. All in.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
But I do have to say, I just want to point out some of the tiers here. Of course, you start off with the digital copy tier at $4. Now, then you go to the physical copy tiers, and here's what I think is interesting is because you guys are offering two different covers. You guys are offering this A cover, which is the one here you see, and then you're also offering this B cover, which has a different design on it.
Yeah,
And
and apparently the A cover is more popular, and
Oh, really?
I agree. It's better. It's my
That's
favorite
funny.
too.
I actually picked up a cover B for myself.
I know it's perfect, man. Don't
You
worry.
got to be a contrarian.
Yeah. I don't know. I just something about that. The way he looks there looks so cool.
Yeah, well, that's the old story. I was experimenting with one style, and then I decided to experiment with the second style, and apparently the second experiment was more successful than the first.
That's funny.
So it
Yeah,
goes.
there's the first cover on the left there, and yeah, it does look awesome. I love the glowing effects you give on his power there. He has.
Funny, you should mention that, because I learned that from the old Spawn comics,
Really?
in which, yeah, I noticed that when I was a kid, that was the first time the glowing hand of the character actually cast light into the picture. I don't know
Huh.
if you guys noticed that.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love those kind of effects that they do. But that's great. So, and I'll go ahead and post the link to that in the chat so people can check it out. It's still got 11 days left, so definitely check it out. Brett in the chat says Canals needs to do a Punisher or Daredevil story.
Well, don't mind if I do. I would love to do a Punisher story.
Wait! I got it. You should do a story called The Blind Gunman.
And that's actually a pretty good one. I mean,
Blind.
Combine them.
yeah, no, some dude loses his sight after an attempt on his life by gangsters or whatever, and he goes on a killing spree. Except he doesn't know who he's shooting at, and just kills everyone.
You will pay.
And he tries to get stopped by the actual hero of the story. But since we're telling this story from the point of view of the blind gunman, the hero is actually the villain.
He just thinks he's the hero, but he's actually like killing everybody.
Yeah. And this is actually told from the actual point of view of the blind person, so the whole comic is black panels.
That's the best part. Oh my god, I love it.
Easiest drawing job ever.
Right? You open it, it's like, wait, this whole black panel. What is this? What the heck?
How's that for experimental? I mean, you could have a whole splash panel with a text box saying, "Oh shit, I'm blind." That's page one.
That's awesome. Oh man. Well, that's good. I'm glad your projects are going well. It sounds like you, as always, you're staying busy.
Yeah, man, that's what I was hoping for when I got into comics. I mean, not really become rich and famous, but stay busy. And you know what they say about idle hands.
Yeah, they need to punch someone in the face.
Yeah, no, exactly. Or at least annoy the fuck out of people on social media.
That's funny, but yeah. So I wish you, thanks I appreciate you making time to join us. I know you got your movie going to later, so I
no problem. I was like hanging out with you guys since I have been banned from pretty much all the social media sphere. I have to take the opportunity to hang out with people on live streams and stuff.
One thing you could test out if you want to try and get back on, it would be good to test to see if it is like how you say, or if it might be an IP thing, because even if you change the IP, they could do it based on the fact that you're both in Spain. I don't know, but you could try using a virtual private network. That could help.
Yeah, I may have to try and do that. The thing is, the moment I'll start tweeting and saying stuff about myself or my work, I know that the angry mob will be there, and they will must report the new account. That's that's the real problem.
I will say I've been able to. No, I'm shadow banned, but there's reasons for that. I have been able to promote your work without any backlash, but I will say that I have had to block several hundred people to get Twitter to a place where people actually play nice with each other. So
yeah,
I understand.
No, but I post your stuff all the time, Canals. In fact, I still use your defunct Twitter handles. I'm like, fuck. Oh, excuse me. I was like, screw you guys at Twitter. I'll just keep using the handle even if you don't want me to.
Yeah, because even though I can't tweet anything with my old account, I can still see when someone has tagged me in something.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, thanks for that. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't know that.
I can still access my account and see what are saying about me. I just can't interact with people.
That's really messed up to do. That's like you can see, but you can't talk back.
Yeah, I'm in the limbo. I'm like I'm like Ghost.
Like in a movie.
Died, and I can still hound people, but they don't know I'm there.
Yeah, that's wrong. But that's cool. I'm glad you're able to see that, because I always like to promote your stuff. And
yeah, I appreciate you guys. I noticed that you've been promoting the Abductables and Necromancer and all that, and I really appreciate it. It's a great thing to do for me.
Oh yeah, you're welcome, man. Anytime.
Well, I want to read that comic, so it's partly self-interested.
Exactly. They both look awesome. So
yeah. Did you guys see my moment of greatest embarrassment this week?
I don't think so.
Please do tell.
Okay, yeah. No, I went on Draw and Talk. They had a thing where it was like, who wants to win $200? But it was toward a story that you'd pitch, right? And they randomly picked a category, and it came to comedy. And I got it was in the first round. I pitched a comedy idea, and I pitched an idea that was just too dark. And like the guy's wife, who was pregnant, and this other lady were two of the judges, and then you also had Chester Busby. And the two ladies are like, no, too dark.
Yeah,
Like,
sometimes.
darn it, dark humor is not working for me. No, but the idea I had was it's like the whole Lassie. It was going to be called Little Tiffany fell down the well, right? Like Little Timmy. And the idea is Little Tiffany falls down the well again, and this dog goes to tell her parents about it and tries to do all the things that she can do to act it out, and it's not working the whole time, and she's just getting more and more frustrated. And I don't normally do thought bubbles, but you'd see thought bubbles with her, being like, "What are they retarded?" And finally at the end she just goes, forget it, and walks off. And then the parents go, I wonder where Tiffany is.
Oh shit.
Anyway, so that it was had to be a 2-page story. So that was my 2-page
Nice.
story.
Well, that's the thing about dark humor, that you're the one who's supposed to laugh.
Yes.
Yeah, true. And also, if it wasn't, if it didn't offend some people, then it wouldn't be doing its job.
Yeah.
Yes. Especially in this time, if you offended someone, that means you're onto something there.
Right? You touched on something that really hits a nerve.
Well, like the fact that I do comedy. I actually stand up and make people laugh occasionally. And the fact that I went down swinging on this one actually makes me want to do this story, even though I just came up with it on the spot. Now I want to put that in somewhere.
Maybe we can fit that into the Wikid magazine somewhere.
Yeah, maybe we'll do that.
By the way, guys, I saw the cover. I can't remember the name of the artist. I saw the pencils for the cover. Yeah, no, that looks great. I love how barbarian. How she. It's a she.
No, it's a he.
It's a he. Okay, well, tell him that I love how he depicted barbarian. I'm
never
pleased.
actually talked with the guy in person, but I believe it's a guy. Yeah. But yeah, he does some really cool stuff. Yeah, I'll definitely pass it along. Yeah, I love the way he came out with Barbarian. It was like really cool, I thought.
I'm enjoying watching the cover take shape.
Yeah, I'm glad you've been able to see that too, Canals. I didn't know you had checked it out, so that's awesome. Because
yeah, if you tag my old account, the Canalo71, yeah, I'll see whatever you say about me. Actually, I think that's the only account with a password that I can remember.
Oh, really? Sorry, I actually usually tag. You're probably missing out because I usually tag Hail Canals.
Yeah, well, it's that doesn't matter. I can see any of them with my cell phone, I think. But yeah, my browser has the inbuilt password for the original one. So yeah.
Okay. But yeah, no, the cover is looking cool, man. And if you want to contribute anything to the magazine, just hit me up on email or anything. They'd definitely be down to talk to you if you had any ideas on stuff.
Yeah, man, that's a great idea. I mean, shit, I wonder if I had the time to do like a 1-pager or something. Let me watch my schedule. Let me take a look at my schedule, and I'll let you know.
That'd be perfect.
Yeah, that'll be great.
Yeah, I think I'll go ahead and give out a little teaser here for everybody who's listening to the podcast. We got Ori working on issue 1 cover, but I think you guys are gonna be really excited about who we got working on the issue 2 cover design. So it's a little bit of a different working method than I'm used to with an artist, but we're actually we were able to get Peter Samedi to he's going to be doing he's doing those sketch cards.
Holy shit! Really?
Yeah. So he's gonna do is he's gonna take instead of doing he's gonna basically take sketch cards and design it. We've worked together to design it so that I can take those sketch cards and then put them together into a singular cover piece.
Nice.
Yeah, and so it's got a really cool design, and I talked to him about it, and he's cool with us using it for the magazine, and so yeah,
I'm so excited that this is happening.
Right? Yeah, I think it's gonna be awesome, and it's a really cool design. Jeremy actually helped me come up with the design, and I think it's a great idea. It's gonna be awesome. Should we tease the idea, or should we leave it as a surprise? Do you think?
Well, let's do that for next week or next time, because I think we need to
wrap up. Yeah. We're getting close. Yeah,
I wasn't thinking wrap up. It's just sometimes it's good to save the surprises for a little.
That's true too. Yeah, fair enough. But yes, everyone can look forward to that, and then we also got another surprise artist for issue number 3 cover. So we got the first 3 issues. We have really cool covers coming. So
very cool.
Yeah. But we are getting close to our time here. So I was just wondering if you guys would mind telling everybody a little bit of what you got going on with your comic coming in the next week or so, and then where to follow you.
Okay, Jeremy Lott. You can follow me at Jeremy Lott Diary on Twitter, which is a horrible place. Have fun there. And on Indiegogo, I have the Movie Men campaign. And it begins with an usher finding a bomb in a movie theater and yelling bomb and getting trampled and getting up just in time for it to go off in his face. But he's still there. The movie theater is still there, and the dinosaur is missing from the screen.
Oh God.
So it's kind of like the last act of the Last Action Hero, in which the bad guys escape from the movie and begin to pull other bad guys from other movies, something like that, right?
Something like that.
Nice. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
I'm just trying to pimp it because I actually read the comic and it's really good. I'm just trying to whet the appetite of the listeners.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
How's this to whet your appetite? Brett in the chat says, Jeremy, remember the haunted theater in Bellingham?
Oh yes, yeah. He sent me that. I'm gonna have to work that into a future issue.
That's awesome, dude. That would be so perfect. Like they go and visit like another theater,
Yeah.
because they maybe they need some extra staff or something, right? Oh, that's funny. Well, that's great. So I'm glad people are hitting up your campaign, and I'm really excited to see you guys cross that finish line.
Yeah, I hope we do it soon, and then we can move on to hitting the stretch goals because there's some cool stuff.
Nice. That's awesome. And Chuck, what about you? What do you guys got going on with the campaign this next couple weeks?
So we have tomorrow or Monday night, Eric has an interview with Heroic Studios. That's a new up and coming channel on YouTube. So he's got that. Then this week I'm just gonna try to pop into anywhere I can, throw it out. I've pretty much always hit almost all the channels. I'm just trying to see if Edwin can maybe actually get me on to, versus being in the chat and just reviewing. So other than that, that's pretty much what I'm going to be doing.
Nice, man.
So, and then of course everybody can follow me everywhere at Sporkman Studios. Also, I'm going to be, I'm looking to one of the up and coming projects that's going to be working on here over the next few weeks is me and Bob Jones from Nerd Over 30. We're going to be working on a Sporkman serial that we're hoping we can record and offer that for people.
Oh, right, like an audio, like a radio drama, right?
Yeah, radio drama, and we want to kind of get people in the community involved and stuff like that. So we're coming up with different roles. So we hope to record that, and then we can put that out, and then we kind of want to turn that into like maybe a monthly thing or something like that.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Cool. Yeah. If you need someone to do a voice, let me know.
Yeah. Oh, I plan on getting a lot because I want Canales on because you got to have that sexy Spanish voice.
Awesome. I'm always asking people if they don't have like an annoying Spanish character that I could voice. Most people tell me no.
We should purposely write one just for you, Canales.
This is why I love comics, Kate. So inclusive.
So, but that's what we got going on here. Just keep an eye out for that. Hopefully, we should have some more, some more information. I'm hoping once this weekend pass, I'm done with finals, I can, focus on that a little bit. So,
any thoughts to do some Foley work with that by any chance?
Yeah. So I was talking with, we'll probably do he'll probably get. I was talking with Bob. We're probably going to just use sound effects and stuff like that.
Nice. Yeah.
And then just add them in afterwards and stuff like that. He'll be doing the editing stuff. Basically, I'll be directing everything, and him and I are kind of writing the script together.
Very good. Yeah, I always loved radio drama style stuff like that. It's just so much fun.
Well, and our character lends for that kind of thing, and I think, certain superheroes work in those elements. So, but that's where we are. So I don't want to take up too much more time here.
No worries. And then I think, let me see. So I think we're going to have Ibai stay on for just another 20 minutes or so, just since he kind of came in late.
Okay.
And then we'll have.
Yeah, don't worry. I'll just run faster to the mall to
yeah, you don't want to miss that game. But so I guess we'll be wrapping up, and we'll be welcoming on Scott and potentially a few other creators, but we'll see who's in this Wicked Clubhouse.
Cool.
But,
Cool.
I appreciate you guys coming on, and definitely everyone go back to their projects. These are some really awesome comics. They're full of fun, adventure, humor. They've got it all, So I really think you guys should check it out, and please back and check out their tiers. So these guys are awesome, and I appreciate you guys being on, man.
All right, thank you. Have a good day, guys.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
And we'll be welcoming on Scott, as I said, and a few others. But why don't you just tell me? You talked a little bit about what you've been up to comics wise, but what have you been up to other than your comic work?
Let me think. Nothing. That's all I do. I mean,
Jeez, man, really?
yeah, no. The only other thing that I do is I go to the gym in the afternoons. I teach kickboxing to kids and stuff. And I mean, it's just 1 hour daily, so that's my steady source of income. When I have a slow month and I don't get too much job as an artist, I plug the holes with my kickboxing money.
Nice, man. Hey, Scott, how's it going?
Morning. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Can you hear him, Canals?
Oh yeah. I was actually glad to see him on Instagram. I found him over there. Glad to see.
Hey,
he's up
yeah,
there.
man. Yeah, Instagram is the new Twitter, apparently.
You found a platform that doesn't, despise you for some reason.
For now.
For now, until you piss them off.
Yeah, like, I have this way of pissing admins off.
Yeah, you're which is strange because Mr. Marvels is quite a shit poster, and yet he's still on Twitter somehow.
I don't know. He's probably nicer than I am to assholes. I don't know. He's probably more laid back. I'm more rabid.
Yeah,
I have this style of being. It's like another thing because my dad, when he gets pissed off, he's actually pretty hurtful. He insults you when it really hurts you, and I think that's like another thing. Except I'm more chill about it.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
It was refreshing to see that he was being Canalis over there, and I did catch him. There's that Darth Vader comic, and he basically just shut this guy down. And like, no, they are always like that. It's the dark side. It's been established that this is what they do.
Can you imagine a world in which you can't depict a villain doing bad things?
Oh, I've had this argument too. And I think that there is kind of like a fine line where you have to establish that these people are villains because of the actions that they do, but also not to cross the line too much and like glorify the heinous acts that they do.
Well, that's the thing. It's an interesting problem because the new suggest writers don't establish characters on their actions. They establish characters on their identities, and that's why you can have, for example, Captain Marvel being a total fascist and imprisoning people on a space Guantanamo for thought crime. For pre-crime, as they had in this movie. What was it? Minority Report. And in Minority Report, it was established as any intelligent person would know that it's a bad thing to imprison people for things they haven't done. And
right.
Yet
it's that whole premise of a lot can happen in that 5 seconds between when they're going to commit the crime and when they actually do. They could have like a sudden change of heart and be like, no, this is bad, and like put down their weapon,
Which is why I there's a show that I really love that was on for a while called, what was it? Oh man, it was this Canadian show called I'm gonna forget it, but it was basically about a police force, and they would instead of like a lot of TV shows where they just go in and shoot everyone up, they go in and they try to understand why the individual is doing what they're doing and try to talk them down from doing it and try to kind of connect with the person before going to those shooting. Like the final, they say that for the final thing, to get it done. But I always thought that was interesting because it was something so different from anything I'd ever seen.
Yeah, that's an interesting take. I mean, the whole that's what I find funny. That's like the really lefty bleeding heart fantasy, but in reality, when they catch someone committing what they think is a crime, like wearing a MAGA hat or I don't know, or one of those T-shirts with a non-PC slogan, they beat the shit out of them as if they had murdered an old lady. You know?
Really? Jeez. Yeah, that's intense.
Yeah, that's the thing, and I think that's going back to the original issue of the. That's why uh, they don't really establish characters on what they do, but on what they are, and that's why if they have a female character, she can do no wrong, even though she may have killed a shitload of people in the process.
That's an interesting point. Yeah.
And yeah, in my story, I try to tread that line where it's very much established that these people are doing really horrible things and the consequences that come with that.
Speaking of which, your comic Wrath is now out on Kickstarter. Isn't that right?
Yes, we launched yesterday. We were sitting at 258 and 8 backers, so not a bad start for the first day.
Yeah, and we got our interview coming up later tonight. So
yeah, we got that. And we're gonna have Drew, the artist, joining us for that.
That's gonna be awesome. Yeah, I'm really excited because this is the first time we've had one of the artists join us on these interviews.
Yeah, she's been like very instrumental in shaping the image of my comic. That's why I wanted her on there, because it's I want to show the process of like raw thought, then process through like artist eyes and what we end up with.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And so why don't you tell us a little bit about your comic? Well, we'll obviously get into it more, but why don't you tell us a little briefly about it?
So the first issue is going to be 45 pages, and this is just the first chapter of 6. So it's going to be a big, around 250 page graphic novel is what we're aiming for. But the first chapter is just going to focus on Doug and Nicole, 2 best friends, and their process into stepping into adulthood, and how that all kind of gets muddied up with a tragic evening for Doug, where he's dwelling on some of his past trauma, and new trauma gets stacked on top of that. And that basically releases this lingering ability he has, that he can manifest all that anger, resentment, regret into a physical form, and it kind of sneaks out and does some work on its own, so to speak. I don't want to spoil too much of that, but he wakes up with just some basic dreamlike memories of the events of that night, and he kind of has to put that together with some physical evidence that he encounters through his next day to kind of put together what really happened.
Unlock his past in a way.
Unlock his past, and just that he has this power and what it can do.
I see. Okay, yeah. Wow, yeah, and I also understand that it's a very much a story about these two characters' friendship.
Yes, it's between Doug and Nicole. They've been best friends since Doug. So basically, Doug's past is his father was very abusive, his biological father. So his mother got smart, got out of that relationship, and struggled and put her life back together for her and her son. And part of that was moving to a new spot, and he meets Nicole as part of that new transition to this better life. And so they've been kind of inseparable since then. So she's kind of like his moral compass in a way, and like someone he can confide in and help him kind of figure out this situation.
Nice. No, that sounds really interesting, and it sounds like you put a lot of time into building these characters.
Yeah. Issue 2 is going to be a lot more into their friendship and dynamic. You're going to see a lot more back and forth as they try and figure out this new ability he has and what it means.
Oh, that's awesome. Now we just got joined by fellow Wikid co-founder Matt. Hey man, how's it going?
Hey, how you doing, guys? Sorry about
Oh, no worries. Feel free to jump on in. We were just chatting about their about the Wrath Kickstarter, which just launched.
Yeah.
How are you doing today?
Tired.
I get that. I
Oversleep
get
last night, but
that. Yeah.
Like
I always.
comic books is an exhausting business, man.
Oh
it
yeah.
can be. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm always jealous of all the creators that we have on the East Coast because they get to wake up later than me. Oh man, and then I'm most jealous of Canales because he's like it's like 7 o'clock there or something, practically, right?
Don't be because every time I have to hang out with my friends in the East Coast, I have to do so until 3 a.m.
Oof.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
You're ahead of us.
It's all that's
sometimes.
it's its downsides too.
Yeah. That's too bad. But yeah, no, that's great. So, like I said, we'll be talking to you tonight on the interview. So everyone, please check it tonight at 7 p.m. Pacific time. We're gonna be going live with the interview with Scott and the artist Drizel. Did I say that right?
Yep, I think so.
And so, yeah, so I really encourage you to check that out. It's gonna be a lot of fun, and you'll have a good chance to ask all your questions and find out more about the Wrath Kickstarter and what the comic's all about. Because it is a packed 45-page comic. There's a lot of stuff in there, so definitely worth checking out. Well, I kind of wanted to ask this question, just kind of on a side note. I know you kind of already know an answer for you, Canals, but what do you guys plan on seeing the new Endgame movie that just came out?
Well, I have no choice if I have to be one of the cool kids because everyone is like sharing memes and making jokes about "I love you 3000." I don't know what the hell that means.
You will, man.
It sounds like some people would say him back in the 2000s, man.
There's some I won't say what the line means, but there's some hidden meaning behind that, and which I guess it's not a spoiler because it's just it's like an Easter egg. So if you don't mind, I'll say it here. It doesn't spoil anything in the movie, so you don't have to worry about that. But the line itself, that 3000, refers to if you count up all the minutes and hours of all 22 Marvel movies, it comes out to just under 3000 minutes, I believe.
So someone took the time and the effort to count it, huh?
Yeah.
Jeez.
The damn nerds, man.
That's right. And also, 2000 is I think 2000 kilograms is the weight of a ton. So it's another way of saying I love you more than a ton. But,
yeah, sounds like something that Stark would say because he's pretentious like that.
Fair enough. Yeah. But yeah, I just thought I'd ask that because I know you were going and stuff. How about you, Scott? Are you much of a Marvel fan or?
Yeah, I've seen most of the movies. It's just getting to the theaters with the little one, and then my wife's schedule has been very chaotic lately. So it's
you guys all go together?
that's the idea. I mean,
Nice.
Worst comes to worst, I might just go solo.
But that's cool that you're able to take the family to see those.
Well, we have what I did for Infinity War, and this worked out really well with the little one. Is we still have a drive-in in our area, so we can just roll up in the car, and then we have this like self-contained little area where we can just give her like an iPad or a phone, and if she gets bored with the movie, and then she's not bothering other people.
That's actually a really good idea.
Yeah,
that's a great idea. That's one of the things that I want to experience from the US. I've never been to a drive-in.
Oh wow, really? Yeah, dude, they're so much fun.
Yeah,
it's a great
we don't have those here in Spain. Or all our movie theaters are traditional, like
Oh really?
Well, we
indoors
don't really,
and all that. Yeah.
We don't really have very many left. I mean, they're a dying breed.
Really, there's one right near where I live. Actually, is that not common as I thought? I always grew up near one side, and I did.
No. Outside of the Bay, I have not seen one.
Really?
Like I've been to Florida, Idaho, Nevada, Colorado, Utah. None of them had them.
That's funny, man.
Yeah, they used to be very common. I mean, I remember going when I was a kid, and there was one much closer.
Mm.
Yeah, both my parents said that was the thing to do back in the day.
Uh,
But
Yeah, I
I
remember
can
that
kind
it
of
was
see
like
on
an
why
80s
they wouldn't
thing.
allow it anymore, because people would sneak people in through like
yeah.
putting them inside of trunks and stuff like that, and then they would like a lot of bad shit would happen too, like drug deals would happen down there and all that.
But
Like
you know
this is
what's
out here in California what would happen. So I'm not trying to say this is what happened in every state, but with those kind of problems, I can kind of see on how other states, and especially over time with the drug problems becoming worse and worse and worse, it would just probably be a better idea just to close it down.
But you know, it's so awesome. You buy like you roll up and they have all the movie theater food you'd expect up at the front. You get your food, you find where your spot is, and then you turn on the radio and you can hear all the sound from the movie in your cars. You can turn it up however loud you want. You can and you can do whatever you want. You can hang out.
Yeah, you
It's
can be as lazy and disorganized as you want. You like
exactly.
spread on your seat and man spread on your car seat.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's not bothering anyone. Yeah,
It's pretty
that
nice,
sounds
dude.
Well, that depends if your car allows it. If
Yeah,
you're
the best to do is
getting
if you got
here small enough.
yeah. Well, the best thing is just if you got someone with a van or like a truck or somewhere where you can kind of turn it around, sit in that back, lay it all down. You got a big old nice place to chill.
Yeah, we have an SU or sorry, a CRV. So we take the car seat out, put the back seat down, so you
Nice.
kind of have like an incline there.
Yeah.
Bring the pillows and blankets.
Yeah.
Lots of times we'll go with our friends. If you get there early, you can set up like tables and play some like tabletop games
That's
and stuff
cool.
before the movie.
whoa.
Lots of cool stuff you can do.
That's
That
smart.
it sounds they were like an 80s thing, right? I mean, I remember seeing them in 80s movies when I was a kid.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. It seemed like all the way up
60s,
until the
60s,
90s.
70s, 80s, and late 80s, early 90s is when they started falling apart.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's still one over in about probably 15-minute drive from where I live. I can't remember. It's been a couple years since I've been, but every now and then we'll go.
I drive past it like pretty much every day on my way home from work. So
Oh, that's funny.
I was also excited because my friend pointed out that there's like a frisbee golf course like right next to it too. So I've been hitting that place up.
Frisbee golf? What the heck is frisbee golf?
Oh, you don't know about that? Yeah, it's
No,
basically it's golf. You just play it with like frisbee discs.
Huh? Oh, really? Wait, what?
Yeah.
Wow,
How's that
that's
work
pretty
exactly?
different.
Yeah, you don't hit like a frisbee with a golf mallet, do you?
No,
No.
you probably have to just throw it as if it were like a golf ball.
Yeah, you
Huh?
basically
inside of a hole.
you throw
or
it.
the goal.
Yeah, the goal is basically it's this metal basket.
Oh wow.
And it's got a pole that comes up in the middle, and then it's got these chains that hang down to kind of like slow down your throw, so it'll make it in the basket.
Oh wow. Jeez, that sounds so hard.
Well, that's yet another thing from the US that I want to experience.
Yeah, it's cool because most of the courses are free. They're just like in public parks. The discs are cheap, and you can just go out and play. But just like golf, you have certain discs that are for drivers, your mid range, and then you have a putter disc.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Hmm.
Huh. I
Well,
never
guys,
heard
I gotta get going, or I'll be late for the movie.
go, man. The
Yeah.
end game is waiting for you.
Yeah, I'll let you
Have a
know how
great
it
one.
went. Let
Go
you
enjoy
know
the
how
movie.
bored I got. Thanks for having me in, guys.
Thanks, man. We'll see you next time. Have a good one.
Yeah, sure. You too, man.
Later. Yeah, he's got to go catch Endgame. I was lucky enough to catch it on Sunday night. It's funny. I drove like almost 2 hours to get to the theater because I was going to stay with my buddy, and then we saw it at 11:20 at night, and so I didn't get out until like after I think 2:30 in the morning.
I can't do
Damn.
movies that late anymore.
Really?
Like I start falling asleep.
Oh, that's funny, man. It was like a 3-hour movie, so yeah, you probably would have been passed out.
Yeah, I'm getting old. Like at about midnight, like I'll be playing like Division 2 or something with my buddy, and like my eyelids just start closing.
Oh God, I'm not looking for that because I'm already starting to get that a little bit. I'm like I probably just get worse and worse.
Yeah, even I'll do that sometimes.
Right?
It's like, oh God, man, I gotta
Like
go
last
to
time, me and
bed.
Matt were trying to play some games, and I missed his message, and I just passed out. Like I didn't wake up again.
Come to think of it, it was a recurring thing. It started probably about 10 years ago. I got the nickname Sleepy Leroy in my World of Warcraft guild because they were running me through an instance, and I fell asleep
In the middle of it.
in the middle of it,
Oh
and
my
I
god, dude! That's
I
hilarious.
randomly just ran into a bunch of people and just pulled a bunch of groups in.
That's so
Oh
dude.
man.
And then I wake up and they're like rezzing me and they're like, "What are you doing?"
That's hilarious. They're like, what happened to you? You just stopped functioning. That's so funny. Yeah, I don't think I've ever fallen asleep in the middle of a game before. Oh man.
Oh man. I think I have once, but I think it was while playing GTA. So no real bad ramifications happened.
Right.
So.
I did have a friend fall asleep playing Halo 2, and like I don't know if you remember, like they had some really interesting voice mechanics in that, where if you're far away from everyone, you had to hit a button to talk, but
Oh,
if you
really?
got close enough, you could hear the people talking.
Hmm.
So like one of my buddies was like just kind of standing in a corner, and I look at him and he's like running in circles and like looking up and down, and I get close to him. I'm like, what is he doing? And I can hear him snoring.
The
The other fun hold on.
Oh, dogs. Dog attack. Is that the creature from Wrath attacking right now?
Yeah, it's a squirrel.
It's a squirrel that gave it a past traumatic.
Yeah. So the other funny thing that that happened was we were playing Halo 2, and it was a capture the flag game, and me and my friend were just following some random guy we were playing with because he's got the flag, and he's running along, and all of a sudden, just out of the blue, he just, "Not right now, Dad."
Oh my god, dude, that's hilarious. That reminds it just totally reminds me of the thing that happened with me and Matt, because we've been playing GTA Online lately, and it totally has that thing where you can hear people near you, but there's also a feature where if you go into your apartment and turn on the TV, you can listen into the news and watch other players playing the game in your session, and you can hear their audio if they're not in a private party. And so we were just, me and him and a couple other guys were just watching these two guys just have this crazy, hilarious, these two British guys have this crazy conversation. It was just hilarious just listening in on them. Like they had no idea we were watching them.
It was weird too, because like because they had the like accent and everything, and they're like, yeah, we're like basically trying to sit there and act hella gangster and say, we're just like, what the fuck is going on? They're just running around killing people and trying to act gangster.
Yeah, it was hilarious, man.
It is weird that you mentioned that. One time we were playing and we got matched up with like an old British team, and they were like throwing out all these like American stereotypes, like "Go have another hamburger, Yank." Just like, what are we?
Like, dude, that would have worked 20 years ago. But
I just can imagine though, like hearing all these British guys throwing out these like things that they think they're being so cutting and stuff, and it's like so funny.
The other funny thing is I don't know if you ever like talk with some old school British people, but they like to refer to us as colonials, which is just like bizarre to me. It's like that's like seriously old school.
That seems like they have a denial of America breaking away from Britain.
They pretend they don't care.
We'll just pretend it never existed.
Yeah, pretty much.
That was pretty funny. Some girl was like, "Oh, I loved your accent" to one of my British friends, and he's like, "No, it's you colonials who have the accent." I'm like, technically, he's right.
Yeah, it's like when you talk to an alien, technically you're the alien in their perspective.
True. Yeah. I was even talking to my roommate Ray about like the British language and on how like it started and everything. I mean, English is just a combination of like, I believe Latin, Old Germanic, and then, of course, Hebrew as well, with like tidbits of other languages throughout the time. So it's kind of like they can't even sit there and say that they're speaking a proper language as well.
I guess no language is really. I mean, there's no normal accent. I mean, everyone's just got different ways of talking, right? I guess.
Well, of course. I mean that just comes with the area you live in.
Yeah.
Like I've noticed where I live in Reading, like some people who've lived out here for quite a while, like they have generations out here, they talk a lot more differently than like what I do. And I grew up in the Bay and everything. And everybody, like I've been to a few different states, and everybody thinks I talk a little bit weirder or like a lot more differently than them. And it's like, I don't know why. I mean, I can understand the fast talking point because I always talk fast, but like some people say, like it just sounds.
Brett's got one for us. I think I know what he's going for. Is how diverse the word soda is across all the different states.
Yes, that's one of
What?
them. Yeah.
Wait,
Even
what?
cigarettes or even terminology for
What do you mean?
like.
So like in the Midwest and like the East Coast, like you say, "Hey, I want a soda." They call it pop.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah.
Jeez, that's
Or
interesting. Huh.
or like Texas, I think calls everything Coke.
Oh wow.
Like when instead of for a soda, you'd be like, "Oh, can you get me a Coke?"
Yeah, or like a cola or something like that.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, that's an interesting point. Yeah, a soda pop.
I mean, there's even different terminology for like different things, like growing up and stuff. Like going to these few different states, always trying to see if anybody had any like, because I was growing up, I was trying to see if anybody had any weed, see what's going on, have a little bit of party while I'm in a different state. Not trying to get drunk or anything, but have a good time. And like just trying to be like, hey man, you got any bud? They'd be like, what? And I'm like, and then I have to use the worst term and be like marijuana, and they're like, oh dude, come on man, don't say that. And I'm like, what?
on,
I
guys,
don't know what the fuck to say. I already said
Come on,
my
man.
word.
What are you not from around here or something? It's like, yes,
Yeah,
I'm
that's what
not.
they always think. They're like, what, you not from around here? No, I'm totally from around here, dude.
What was it? Neil Gaiman, I think it was in the American Gods, said that like each state is almost like its own country. The only thing that unites us, hold on, I'm trying to remember the quote. It's our currency, McDonald's, and the Tonight Show.
Nice. That's hilarious. I love
It is true, but now there's probably a few more things you can.
Well, that's what's so interesting about American Gods is that it still holds up, but some of the references are a little dated, like that kind of stuff there. But the themes themselves, they still hold true.
Yes.
Which is why I love the book so much, and I really love the show actually too, because the show is kind of bringing it into more modern times in a way. Are you watching this show, Scott?
I watched the first season. I haven't gotten my subscription back to finish watching.
It's worth it. I definitely think it's worth it because it's season 2.
Isn't it only on Netflix?
No, it's Stars, I believe.
Yeah, Stars is for the most current stuff.
Oh.
Did they put the first season on Netflix?
I think so, because that's where I keep seeing it. Because I haven't watched the show yet. Everybody keeps telling me to watch it.
It's worth it, man.
So I've just been like, I'll get around to it sometime.
It's so cool because I first got into Neil Gaiman and first got into really getting into comics as an adult with Sandman and his comic Sandman, and then once I read Sandman, I read American Gods, and I was like, holy crap, I love this stuff. It was just really really interesting because it's got the whole mythology stuff, and gods and. Let's see. I'm on net. Let's see if it's on Netflix here. But yeah, do you guys have much time for shows and stuff these days, or is you really focusing on comic creation?
I have a couple of like anime guilty pleasures that I keep up with.
Really?
Same here. I've been mainly like kind of recapturing a lot of my old love for sci-fi. One of my guilty pleasures is Star Trek Next Generation. So I've been watching a lot of that shit, and I learned I can't watch it trying to go to sleep. So
I can't watch anything going to sleep, man. I don't know how people do that.
Dude, I can't. I have to watch something boring if I'm gonna go to sleep and watch something. It has to be extremely fucking boring.
Have
Like
you
that
guys?
low monotone voice that you always heard in high school and elementary and junior high.
Just listen
It
to
would just
Samuel Jackson.
lull you to sleep.
Like the teacher from Ferris Bueller?
Pretty much, yeah. Any kind of monotone
You-
voice, I will just start like dazing out in a sense. And it's like, oh, dude, this is so boring. I can't take this.
You should just listen to
Like,
Mars.
I used to fall asleep in all my classes because of that. They would just be so boring to me. I specifically remember one of my math classes that I took. I fell asleep and the teacher called me and told me to do the equation on the board. And I was like, oh, come on, do I really have to? And they're like, yeah, you have to because you fell asleep. And I'm like, all right, fine. So I went up there, wrote it down, went back to my seat, and they're like, you're not going to explain it? And I'm like, oh, you do this, you do that, you do this, and then you're done. And then everybody looked at me and then looked at the equation and went, holy crap, that's a lot more easier than the way they explained it. I'm like, yeah, I know, right? And then I just, like, basically sat back in my chair and just fell back to sleep.
So have you guys seen The Expanse? If you like sci-fi.
I've seen a little bit of The Expanse.
I
need to
haven't.
get
I've
back
not even
into it
heard
more.
of it.
So it was originally on Sci-Fi, and it was picked up by Amazon, so you can watch all of it on Amazon Prime
Oh, that's cool.
Video. The cool thing about it is it's got a lot of kind of like this Firefly feel, and it's got this kind of like cold escalating war between Earth, Mars, and what's known as like the Belt, which is basically like all the underprivileged people that basically like like old school miners and stuff like that. They're out there like mining the asteroid belt and stuff like that. And then there's this whole political plot that unfolds, but it's very cool. It's probably got the most realistic space battles I've ever seen in any kind of show.
I don't know, man. The Orville's pretty realistic.
But what's really cool is when they go into like when they know they're going to go into like a ship battle, they actually have to suit up like in their space suits, and they actually like vent all the air inside the ship.
Huh.
Because because if you shoot into a pressurized ship and you hit like a pocket of air, it's going to rip the whole ship open.
Okay.
So they vent the air so that the bullets will just fly straight through the ship. And then when the battle's over, they have to patch up all the holes and put the air back in.
Oh, well, so they have to wear their suits during combat?
Yep.
Doesn't that mean some people can get shot at, like, inside the ship?
Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
Yep. Like it's really cool because you see like these two ships flying, just shooting bullets, and then like it shows inside as these bullets are just like whizzing through the ship. And
that's an interesting. That's cool because I like that because it's different from what we usually see with space combat because rarely do you see ballistics used in space combat in movies.
Yeah, they use
missiles, especially for sci-fi, like heavy sci-fi.
Right.
Bullets. It's very interesting. I mean, like they're probably using since I'm not sure how actual bullets would work in zero atmosphere, but they're probably using like some sort of like rail cannon where it's like magnetically launched.
I can see that where instead of relying on the gunpowder in a sense for the velocity, it's relying on kinetic energy in a sense.
Right, and with space, as you all know, things just continue to get faster and faster. So the farther you are, the stronger the shot would be. I would think. As long as it doesn't run anything, because there's no atmosphere, there's no friction, so things can just continually speed up, going faster.
It is true. That is true, but at the same time, you do have to determine if you are close enough to an object to where if it'll cause like a gravitational pull with the object in a sense.
True. Right. Yeah. No, I get that right. As long as it doesn't run into anything or get pulled down into atmosphere or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, that sounds like it's a pretty cool series.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I think they've got 3 seasons up so far.
With a 4th on the way, I believe, right?
Possibly, I think so, because Amazon picked it up, so I think they're planning on finishing the arc.
It says that's weird. Newsweek says the Expanse season 5.
Okay, maybe they do have 4.
Likely renewal after season 4 wrap. So season 4 maybe is already going on. Is that possible?
Maybe the filming and the production.
Oh,
of it is.
yeah. You're right. That's what they mean. Wrap on the production. I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Especially if
gonna
it's
be.
coming out on like a online as an online series, they usually like to set it up as a binge for you to be able to binge it all.
Yeah. Is Amazon like that? Do they usually release
Yeah,
their shows all
yeah.
at once?
Yeah,
Okay.
they usually.
Most online providers now use that tactics that Netflix uses.
I'm not a fan of it. I mean, I guess I don't mind it because I can just watch. I can watch at my own pace, but I don't mind watching week to week still.
I think Hulu's the only one that does the week to week thing.
Really.
I think that's because they have a lot of shows. They have a lot of rights for shows that as soon as one show airs, they can put it up immediately on Hulu.
Right.
Which is a nice feature. I do like that.
Because they are trying to compete with Netflix as being more of like regular TV. That's why they say Hulu will ruin TV forever. So it's kind of like, okay. So
Dude,
it
and now
should
with
be a better TV.
well, now that Disney owns Hulu, I mean, man, they're really powerful.
Do they own Hulu now?
Yeah, they bought Hulu because they bought Fox and Fox owned Hulu, so now they own Hulu.
So
I didn't know
that's
that
why
connection.
Disney wanted Fox to begin with.
Probably.
Well, also,
also Fox has a lot. They have a lot of properties that are really valuable.
they're aiming to take down Netflix, and a lot of the original Netflix platform was Fox. I mean, that's where you used to watch like all the Family Guy and like American Dad and all
that is
stuff.
true. And not only that, if you notice, they've been taking a lot of the well, except for now because Endgame came out, but before that, they started taking down a lot of the Marvel shows from Netflix.
Oh yeah, they're only gonna have them on Netflix for about probably another year. Well, probably actually for another 6 or 7 months because Disney Plus streaming service is launching in September. Or no, November. Sorry, November. And once that happens, it's all going to them. And the craziest part is that the Disney Plus will have all the kind of teen and underrated stuff, and then Hulu will be where the Disney develops their mature content. So they'll have two fronts to push forward with.
Interesting. Yeah, because I noticed when they started talking about this that they stripped down Futurama to where it was you were only able to see the Comedy Central stuff.
Huh. Really?
On Netflix.
That's weird.
That would make sense because as soon as it went from Fox to Comedy Central, like the studio apparently even said like they're like, we're glad we're away from Fox. Like it was worse being at Fox.
They always made fun of Fox in them shows too.
If you notice, it happens right after the last season Fox had it, and then right when the movie started. They just started naming Fox pretty much by fucking name, being like, fuck you.
Oh, man.
They were just seriously tired of that stuff. And I mean, I get it, but I mean, the guy still works for Fox with Simpsons. You know, I mean, unless he's left the writing crew to like its own devices in a sense.
Well, he did branch off into Netflix and did Disenchantment.
Yes.
I thought that was the guy. Oh yeah, they're right. That was Futurama guy. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, that was Matt Goring.
Yeah. Okay.
Or Groening or
Groening, I think maybe something like that.
I don't know how to pronounce it. I probably butchered it both times.
You probably all did.
He's not here to correct you. So.
Right. So
exactly.
God, yeah. He's like, hey guys, I'm in the chat. Watch it.
But my other guilty pleasures are that I keep up on is Rising of the Shield Hero.
Really?
And Black Clover.
See, I can never get into Black Clover. I wanted to so bad, and I understand there's like they're on like episode 70 now, so I'm almost like there's almost no hope for me to get caught up. But I don't know. The first like 5 episodes were a little slow for me, and I didn't get the humor about him being in love with the nun, and didn't quite understand what was going on there.
He's just a guy that like he just believes in impossible situations and just he's super stubborn and just does not quit.
So he's in love with a nun because he believes that through the impossible situation he'll be able to make her love him instead of her loving God.
All right. That's pretty good. I'll give you that.
Yeah, but
that's pretty clever.
It's interesting and like you gotta root, and I just love how they just pit him as the underdog. They do a very good job of that,
Mm,
and you just see him just busting his ass and just succeeding against the odds.
nice.
So that's kind of what a big appeal is for me on that one. Um, and you also see him that he's just a genuinely nice guy, and you just see it rub off on his companions because he ends. I don't know if you've seen far enough where he gets assigned to like one of the Magic Knight groups.
I don't think so.
Well, he basically gets assigned to like the worst squad, and
Yeah.
as the show develops, they kind of like his enthusiasm and his never give up attitude starts rubbing off on everyone, and they start working together as a collective team, and they start accomplishing some huge goals. So they actually start moving up from like the worst up into like the top tier of the Magic Knights, which is interesting.
That's cool. Yeah, and he starts off with no powers, but it kind of is alluded that maybe he has some sort of special power we're lurking within him.
Yeah, that's the whole
yeah.
underdog thing. He's in a world where magic dictates everything, and he has zero, absolutely none, and that becomes his greatest strength.
Yeah, that's wild. Yeah, which is it's a cool message to bring across, I think too. It's if you like that, you should. Well, I don't know. I don't want to give you another long show to watch. I'm a sucker for the Naruto Shippuden show, which
I've seen most of that.
have you? Nice.
Yes.
I'm watching on Tsunami, so I'm really far behind on that one.
Oh, it's all on. I believe it's all on Hulu.
I watched the. I don't think the dub's on Hulu, is it?
Yeah.
Not
I mean, it might not
I
be
think
like
it is, but I think it's
completely
pretty far
caught up.
behind.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know Toonami's farther behind than they are on the dub, like the current dub. But I don't, as far as I know, they haven't finished the whole show yet, dubbing it. And I'm a sucker. I'm there. You go again. I do you watch Japanese or English? Because I'm a dub guy all the way. If I can, I'll watch sub if I have to. But
I like dub when I can't sit still long enough to like I have this thing with TV. I have to have it like right in front of me. Otherwise, I get distracted by all the chaos in my house that's between me and the TV.
Oh, that's funny.
So yeah, like dub's great where I can like move around and still catch what's going on. But like my wife will put it on the TV if it's subtitled. I can't keep up. I gotta have it like on a phone or an iPad in front of me.
Yeah, no, I get that. I can totally understand that. For me, I'm kind of the same way. The only difference is that I can never pay attention. So like when I watch subs, it's just really hard for me to follow along. So it's easier for me to be able to watch the show and hear it in my native language because I'm just not the best. I guess maybe not fastest reader and. Yeah, I remember I would come home from a long day of work and I would like trying to watch dub anime and like fall asleep during the middle of it because I'm not good at reading like that.
The quality has gotten a lot better over the years too. Because back in like the '90s, like the dubs were like.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they've come a long way. That's for sure. Companies like Funimation have really brought dubbing into the modern day. I think
Well, I think really, if it weren't for Star Child, a lot of the dubbing wouldn't be taken serious because they were known for taking a lot of their like dubs seriously, and a lot of people were like, "What the hell?" Because these are the people who did a lot of the like better animes from back in the day in the '90s, like Blue Seed. They did Evangelion. And I think they had a hand in getting the voice actors or being part of the voice production crew for Berserk, the 1997 one, when they came out with the English dub for it.
What was it? I remember the days, and this is making me sound old, but before Toonami, like if you were a Dragon Ball Z fan, you would find like anime clubs that would take the Japanese episodes and then subtitle them themselves, and you would have to like pay them to make copies onto a VHS tape and then send to you.
Wow.
That's like
Wow, man. I mean,
that's old school. days, man.
That's how much like the anime fan like base has just grown.
And and it shows you how ravenous they were too. Like even at the beginning, where they had to jump through hurdles to get to it, they were jumping those hurdles.
Well, I mean, it's kind of the same thing when you read like fan translations of mangas and everything. That's why I like it, because it's people who are putting their own time and effort to learn something just to be able to give you something in a sense, like because a lot of people say the differences between like fan translated and pro translated is like certain words here and there and certain phrases that I understand a little bit better. But I mean, I've read like a volume of Berserk from actual like paper and everything, and I've read a fan translation online. It was practically the same thing, and I got the same exact feelings from both. So I was like, I don't really need to buy it. I mean, I want to because I want to support that project. Berserk is just my favorite manga of all time. It's one of my favorite stories. So of course I want to support that. But for me to just be able to keep up with it, I have to read online, because the way he does all of his chapters is that I remember there was one time he came out with like this huge event. I think it was during the Sea Voyage arc, and because I'm not trying to give away stuff. And what ends up happening is that as soon as it's done, I didn't get to read a chapter for like a year because he didn't come out with it. And I was like, holy shit, what the hell happened to him, man? Like, a lot of people thought he was dead or something. Like, I was online, like, trying to see what's going on, and a lot of people were like, is he fucking dead? It's been 6 months. This is not normal.
Well, with him it is.
And I think
with him it is, yeah.
The start of like a lot of the anime craze was Sailor Moon and Dragon Ball Z, and it was mostly just because it was so different than everything else out there.
Yeah, that's why Digimon and Pokemon caught on really quick. I mean, I'm part of it because I grew up with it, Like, I remember watching Sailor Moon on Channel 12 back in the day, like
Channel
12?
Local
Channel 12 in a sense.
Oh, Channel 12.
WB. It used to be WB.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
the nationwide WB channel.
Remember that?
And then Dragon Ball Z started on even before Toonami started, they were kind of showing it.
Yep.
Like here and there, like once a week.
I found out about Dragon Ball Z. It was just Sunday morning, flipping through the channels, and it was on TV. Just I think like 7 or 8 in the morning on Sunday, like when no one's really watching TV. And I was just like, what is this? And it was like the Vegeta fight. And I had no idea who like any of the characters were. And I was just like, I want to know what this is. I want to know what's happening.
Yeah, dude, I totally agree. I mean, I remember when I watched Dragon Ball Z, I didn't even know really that it was from Japan or was anything other from another cartoon. I just was like, this is awesome.
I personally didn't even catch on to the fact that the Japanese and American cartoons were vastly different. Like, I remember showing my dad the cartoon, showing him Dragon Ball and Sailor Moon, and he's like, what the fuck is this? And I'm like, what, you've never seen this stuff? And he's like, nah, what is this? I'm like, this is Dragon Ball Z. It's so awesome. They're fighters and everything, and they have powers, blah, blah, blah. He's like, kind of sounds like those Power Rangers you watch. I'm like, yeah, right? I was like 5, 6, when I first started kind of really seeing it,
I could never get into Power Rangers. It was, I guess I was
too honest. For me, it was just the first Power Rangers, really, with like Jason, Zach, and everything. Because I latched on to Zach. He was my favorite character, the Black Ranger, man. He was the only one who had an axe. I was like, okay, this makes sense.
But like for me, I was a little bit too old, and I grew up on Voltron. So to me, it was just like a really crappy Voltron.
See, that's what my dad compared it to. He's like, this just reminds me of Voltron. I'm like, what's Voltron? He's like, it's an old Japanese cartoon. Little did I know, that was anime. Yep. I'm like, Dad, this is basically Dragon Ball Z. And he's like, hey, yeah, you are kind of right. So that's what kind of caught me on to the whole fact that the Japanese really love a serialized episodic nature of things, where like things will continue on from what you last saw, because a lot of their dramas and shows are based around that same secular concept, where it's an actual story There are characters, and there is a world outside of those characters.
And now
They're
you see
all
that,
meshed together.
and now you see that's become the norm in in TV, starting back in like Breaking Bad time, and now we get episode weekly serialized TV is become the standard
Well,
almost.
with America, it seems like it took it a moment to really catch on because, I
It
mean,
did.
we are infatuated with reality TV, even still. I mean, reality TV evolved to the point where now we just watch reality TV on our computer in a sense. And I'm talking about YouTube and shit, people like pranks, fails, and all that shit. That's technically reality TV.
Yeah, that's true, huh?
And I was like, oh man, dude, like we are entrenched with this shit. And what's funny, there was, I think it's a German movie or a French or Russian maybe, where it's basically a mockumentary about reality TV getting so bad that they follow serial killers and watch a serial killer basically kill people and help them hide the bodies and stuff. And it's like, oh my God, dude, we're probably 10 years away from that.
It's like a dark satire of a reality TV.
Well, the weird thing about that kind of thing is serial killers are actually on the decline, is what they're saying now. Because
there are psychologists thinking that it could be another situation like the 70s, where after the 60s, the skyrocketing number of serial killers was like unfathomable to them at that point. But they're thinking through the tragedies of World War II and Vietnam War, it caused a lot of like dissonance with a lot of people, so they just snapped, and that's what caused a lot of the serial killer mentality to like build up. And I was like, whoa.
Well, the thing is we still have that. It's just being channeled differently. A lot of the speculation is that it's a turn away from like picking off the small ones one at a time, and we're getting more of these mass shootings and just a single act of terror.
Yeah, and I think it's because people who are like that, like having to like for my own project, like I have to go into like the dark sides of reality in a sense. So like researching all this stuff, I just feel so bad, and it's like, oh God. But like it's a little interesting at the same time, like that dark curiosity, and it's like, interesting. Because go on.
Well, sorry, just go ahead and say that. I just wanted to say, but we're actually getting close to our time here, so I wanted to talk a little bit more about Wrath as we start.
Okay. Well, this actually kind of sets in with Wrath.
Oh, nice.
What they kind of learned about like serial killers and everything is that a lot of serial killers or people who do those single acts of terror or mass shootings, they themselves are people who have gone through extreme trauma and hadn't really been able to process it in a sense. And what it is that they think that a lot of serial killers themselves are people who went through the experiences that led up to them doing their MOs. In a sense, the reason why they're killing is what happened to them, and the way that they're killing is what happened to them. It's just they didn't process it correctly, and instead of internalizing it and like Scott was saying, use it constructively to learn about yourself and possibly help others later on, it like warped them and twisted them to the point where they don't see good and evil anymore. They only see what happened to them, and they want to inflict it upon others. So they feel their pain a lot of times. That's what that mainly is. It's because their own traumas and their own problems in life, in a sense. So in a way, it did kind of match back up with Wrath. So we'll use that as a leading point.
Not going too much into spoilers, but yes, that is in the pipeline.
There's some things that we'll explore potentially.
That will be explored. Yes, that will definitely be explored. The big thing I want to show is that there's two sides, and that unfortunately the negative side is usually the more commonly seen.
Nice, yeah.
That would make sense because I mean, even as regular people, we like to focus on people's negative parts instead of their positives. Like when we hear most critiques, most people focus on what they heard the bad things about instead of all the compliments they got during their critique. They'll focus on the bad because that's the things they need to improve on. But some people will just take those into extremes in a sense.
And it's also like human nature that we lean towards the easier path, and those things come more naturally.
Yes.
And especially if you don't have any positive influences, anything pushing you towards a more constructive. Hold on.
No support system in a sense.
Yeah. And that's
there's no support system. There's nothing pushing you to do the right thing. And I'm going to go into that. Is Doug's lucky because he was pulled out of that, and his life was better going forward before it pulled him too much into that negative direction.
Coffee and critters in the chat says focusing on the bad is a form of self-protection, I think.
It is, but at the same time, it could be used as a form of self-destruction or self-aggrandization in a sense, because what a lot of people don't realize is that when you just keep taking the easy paths or looking only at the negatives, your viewpoint on the world and everything around you becomes those. I mean, I know that for a fact because I used to live that for a moment, I even tell my fiance this. If I didn't meet her, I don't know where I would be now. I really don't. And that kind of scares me, because I think I was probably on a darker path than where I'm at now. So, yeah, I mean, I always thank her for that. And she never wants to believe it because she's going through a lot of things herself right now. And she's like, no, that's not true. I'm like, no, that is 100% true. Probably more true than anything right now for me.
Yeah.
And just where what I do for work with the criminal justice system, you just see so many people just repeating the same pattern and over, and like there are the people that stop themselves, wait a minute, and they get themselves right. But unfortunately, those are like the rare things, and I try to celebrate those as much as I can.
Hey, no, I bet, man, I bet.
But so as I said, we're wrapping up here. But what can you tell your fans out there and people who are interested in your project? What can you tell them about Wrath, and where can they follow you online?
So Wrath is the story of a young man and his best friend who, through a series of past and current events, learns that he can manifest his deep-seated anger, resentment, regret into a physical form. And it's the story of how they come to deal with that and how they will eventually run into others with that same power. Kickstarter just went live yesterday. You can just go into your Kickstarter or follow us on Twitter, and we're constantly posting links for it. But just search for Wrath. It's an ambitious project. The first issue is 45 pages. So we're going to need some serious funding to get it going. But if you like the idea, please back us so we can make this happen. You can follow us on Twitter. It's at Kishkuman. We also have Instagram now, which is if you just search for Wrath graphic novel, you can find us.
Oh, well, I'll go ahead and link it in the chat here for you. So we got the projects there on Kickstarter, and then I'll go ahead and also link your Twitter page. Would you like me also to link Druzel?
Oh yeah, the artist, fantastic artist. She's up and coming. She's at Druzel_. You can check out her artwork at Twitter. She drew this little fantastic rage puppy you see here when I'm talking.
I love how you call it the rage puppy. Like that's what you call it now.
I do have an official name for it, but it's I'm saving it to come organically in the story. So
I think that's a good way to do it. Yeah. It'll be a better moment.
Rage puppy for now.
Rage puppy in the streets and something else in the sheets, as we say.
Or pages. We'll use pages.
Right, there you go. In the pages. But thank you again for joining us. It's been great, and we're gonna be talking to Scott later today. Me and Matt and Scott will be talking in our Wikid Creator interview tonight at 7 p.m. Pacific
and the
time.
artist Druzel will be joining us.
Yep, we'll be joined by Druzel as well.
But let's turn this over to Mythoverse.
Sure.
Check out their project if you haven't already. It's amazing. And
awesome.
I'm out of here, guys. Thanks for having me.
Have a great one. We'll talk to you later. And welcome the Mythoverse crew. We've got Matt and no
Brett.
Dan today, but we got Brett instead.
Was
I think
Dan
Dan's
unavailable
preoccupied with his
today?
kids today.
Oh, really? Okay.
Ah,
So,
okay.
That's my guess. He didn't say.
he's probably out there watching Avengers Endgame right now.
He already did.
Oh, really? Oh, nice. Did
Yeah,
you guys?
hey,
I think he took his two
depending
youngest
on
to
where
it,
he
in
lives,
fact.
it could be nice weather. So
Well-
he's probably saying, hey, you know what? Let's go ahead and take the kids out.
Out in Jacksonville, Florida.
Yeah, that's not possible.
No. Yeah, I mean, for them, if they have nice weather where it's
Nice weather's a breeze. Man.
mildly humid. Yeah, I could see it. I mean,
Oh,
I've
there's
been
a
to
breeze
Florida.
out. There's a slight breeze. Oh my God, the weather is amazing. Holy
No,
wow.
dude.
No.
It becomes a lot more
Washington.
different because, like, when they have rainstorms, they are hot. It's like being inside of a sauna. It's
Oh,
like,
God, I know, yeah.
God.
I've been there a few times.
Washington has nice weather. I lived in Florida for about a year. I would not want to go back.
I take Washington's rain over Florida's humidity any day.
Let's put it this way: Florida has better weather than Japan.
Well, yeah.
My brother
No,
lived there for
well,
5 years and lived in Japan for 6 months.
they're pretty
and he's like,
comparable, honestly.
I would only visit Japan. I
It's
would not
pretty-
live there.
It can't be all. I mean, I know Japan can get stupid humid, but it can't be. But it's got to depend on where you're at, right?
No, he said when he went to Tokyo, it was so humid.
That's the thing.
But when he went to even the shrines, it got even worse in the mountains. And then when he went to Okinawa, like back to his base, he said like being there was the worst part.
But the thing is,
because you're surrounded by an island, and
but the thing is, but there actually is a lot of. I mean, if you go up north, it gets really, really cold. Like they have
well, that's
snow up
because
north.
of where they're located and on the hemisphere. You know, they're
Right,
practically
right.
so north.
Yeah. Raven says Iwakuni had beautiful weather.
Iwakuni, where is that? I'm not familiar. Where is that near? Coffee and Critters, if you mind saying. I actually had I was super lucky. I got some bonds for my grandmother and was able to use them to pay for a trip to go to Japan. And so I was there for a couple weeks and went to Tokyo and Kyoto and Hiroshima and a few other locations.
Actually, you want to know a place that has really, like, I wouldn't say bad weather, but it's not really good weather either? It's Korea. Korea is like gray a lot of the time.
Really?
I could see it because where they're located, there's probably tons of smog all around them.
No, I think it's
Since,
just cloud
from the other
cover.
countries, and then
Think of a
for
lot of
them
it.
being on the coast near all that stuff and kind of below the humidness, I can kind of see it, you know.
I had a friend of mine. He was actually stationed at a base out in South Korea, and he said, like, his whole family lived there, and he said it was just gray a lot of the time.
Gray? It's so
Yeah.
depressing.
That sounds like reports of what you would hear from North Korea.
Notoriously gray a lot of the year because of the cloud cover. We at least get a sunny day here and there.
Got a lot of people sad running around.
They're probably so busy with their lifestyle. I mean, it probably does not matter.
You guys, well, that's probably true too. Are you guys from? We won't get into it. But how are you guys' Mythoverse project coming along with the campaign going?
Well, today we just got our 69th backer, and we are now sitting at $2,113.
Very nice. Very nice.
For being up for a little over a week, we've already gotten through the first third of our goal, which is great.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
You're making
By the
good
way,
progress.
Raven, who's in the chat, was one of our first backers. In fact, she actually told me we are the first campaign she's ever backed.
Oh wow, how cool is that?
Hey, that's cool.
So
Yeah.
let's not screw it up.
No pressure.
Yeah. Yeah,
But hey, I mean, honestly, if anything, it shows that you guys have all three of you have interesting stories to the point where you guys are able to get people who haven't even backed anything before. You know, so that should be able to say something right there.
Oh yeah, it does. In fact, we're actually planning on the 14th. We're actually planning on Tuesday the 14th. We are going to be hosting a call-in show for all our backers and fans.
Really?
Yep.
That'll be
How long are
interesting.
you gonna do? How long are you guys gonna go for?
Who knows? We'll probably. By the way, Raven says the Kickstarter is so full of goodies, along with amazing stories and absolute steal.
So
We haven't really thought that out. I mean, like we probably if we started say like 6 p.m. PST, that's when we're gonna start. We could go. I mean, depending on how many people show up and how long like Matt, we could probably legit actually go into Kumite time there.
Kumite. Oh snap! That's
Okay,
serious.
if you guys don't know, anyone who doesn't watch the Kumite, which is hosted by Tonkasa, so there have been times where the Kumite would go as long as 8 hours.
Oh boy.
Tonka will just ditch the show, will just duck out of the show in the middle of it and let people keep talking.
Wow, that's pretty intense. I don't know if I could last for 6 hours.
Well, if you have people who can talk for hours on end, you can just dip out secretly and go get some exercise.
They won't ever know you're gone.
Exactly.
Yeah, Vamp ducks out in the middle of the time to go catch a smoke.
Oh my god! And no one notices, or does he say?
No one usually notices unless she posts in the chat.
Yeah, that's pretty hilarious.
It is like there's a lot of good stuff happens on the Kumite.
Really, I'll have to check it out. Yeah.
Although a lot of it there's a lot of internet drama at times.
Yeah.
Look, it's
what's new there, right?
We'll just say up top, Tonga's never the guy who fires first. Okay.
He's not. He's no George Lucas remake Han Solo.
No, he's not. More like he's not the guy who starts it.
He's no original original Star Wars era. God dang it, this is too confusing. But he's saying he doesn't shoot first.
Special edition Han Solo.
Yeah, there you go. That's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Although they also do host streams of his wrestling because his brother owns an independent wrestling promotion called Pro South. They have their own YouTube channel too. It's actually pretty good. He's actually a pretty solid guy when it comes to wrestling too.
Really?
Yeah.
You're kind of a wrestling fan, aren't you, Brett?
Yeah, I am.
Hey, Brett.
Are you do you like Ron Funches by any chance?
Never heard of it.
He's a comedian, but he's super into wrestling, and so I was just thinking you might be into his humor because he often will reference how much he loves wrestling.
Oh, you want to see funny like Rob? You know who Rob Van Dam is?
No, I don't think so.
Seriously? He used to wrestle for ECW back in the day. Then he did WWE for a while. Then he went indie. Now he's doing stand-up comedy.
Oh, really? It's funny. That's kind of how The Rock went in a way. Going from wrestling to more other entertainment fields.
Oh yeah, but yeah, enough about that. But yeah, like I said, we are really happy with the momentum we've had. Although I mean, like you got to take into account that was the first week, and for whatever reason, it's just the nature of the game. Crowdfunders all usually do their best in their first and last weeks for whatever reason.
Interesting.
Well,
it kind of makes sense, It's where the hype is at, where all that hype when it starts, and then the final push to the end,
I guess, but it's just more like
it's a game
So we're kind of expecting to hit I guess what I've come to call the middle slump.
Yep.
Like basically although what I'm hoping we can at least do within the next week is that we at least clear $3,000, and that puts us at least 50. So if we can at least clear 50% in the next week, that'd be good.
Let's see, I have the campaign up right now. So you guys have 2,113 out of a 6,000 goal, and you have 21 days to go.
Yeah.
So yeah, you guys are in good place. You guys have time to make all that up.
I guess so.
So do you guys have plans to go on more streams and stuff?
We got a couple streams lined up this week. I mean, lined up today. After this, we're gonna be on Josh's stream animations, and I think later today also Nerd Wonder.
Nice. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, but we're also trying to explore other avenues, just because, like, I mean, as much as we like doing the streams, a lot of the time we're just talking to people who are sort of already on our side.
I could see that. Yeah.
Yeah, what we need to do is start reaching out. We're trying to make use of the Instagram a little bit more. Matt's doing a little bit scouting over on Facebook, and I'm gonna see about setting up a Reddit account because my brother told me it's easy to get traction on Reddit. Raven said there's free comic convention up in LA the 17th and the 20th. Will you be showing Mythoverse there by chance? Wikid is actually going to be there, aren't they?
Which one?
LA Comic. She said there's a free comic convention in LA on the 17th.
No, we won't. We didn't have any plans to necessarily be on that one. Let's see. Is it this month from the 17th to the 20th?
Yeah, she said free comic convention up in LA from the 17th to the 20th.
We won't be at that one specifically, but next month in July. Let's see. I believe it's in July or June. I think July. We're going to be going to Alien Con in LA, which is going to be at the LA Convention Center. So if you're out in that area, you would definitely get a chance to check out the Mythoverse there. I would think.
Yeah.
In some form, at the very least.
Yeah. Well,
Yep.
Shoot. I mean, shoot. I mean, like all the it kind of sucks because I mean, I would go though but the problem is that requires me to have the time off from work, and I got to drive all the way down to California. But yeah.
Well, yeah. Yeah, we're gonna drive over ourselves, but it's not nearly as far as you are. So it's,
I'm all the way up I'm all the way up in Washington for one.
Yeah, I drove one time with my friends to the PAX convention. Oh, and I drove the whole way because I was too stubborn to let anyone else drive. So that was awful.
Yeah, at least you had company because I had to drive to the other end of the state all the way to Spokane. It was like a 4 or 5 hour drive. I am not someone who does well being locked in a vehicle by myself for hours on end.
Really?
Raven says, I mean, if you have flyers that I can print, I wouldn't mind passing them out. That's not a bad idea.
I would love to do that. I'll definitely pick you up on that offer.
I think we might actually have something you can use, Raven. I'll be sure to DM it to you. But yeah, that would help. But yeah, I mean, shit. I mean, see, that someone like Raven, that's a good fan. We have someone who's that dedicated, wants us to succeed.
That's nice. Yeah.
That's
so cool about your campaign is to see the fan support that you guys have had.
Oh yeah, I mean, for one, I think one thing that's done a lot for the hype is that Maeve Grown Up art contest we started hosting once we got through the first 1,000. That's shown a lot of talented artists have come out of the woodwork and have just kind of put their own spin on and their own interpretation on how they think Maeve is going to look when she's in her 20s. Raven was actually one of the first submissions, in fact.
Oh, nice! Yeah, I love that piece that you did. That was really cool.
Yeah.
That was the one with the shaved head, right?
That was
haircut.
Yeah, that was the one.
Cool.
Yeah, that was her.
That was awesome. Yeah, I love how punk Maeve looks in that image. You know, it's a good fit for Maeve. But yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. Reaching out to other places, I think that's a great idea. And anything we can do to help, please let us know. You know, we want to see you succeed as much as possible. Now, what are your plans? So how does it work with Kickstarter? Is there like a fixed versus flexible goal type thing?
It's a all or nothing.
All or nothing.
Yep. Brett's computer froze, so.
Okay. I was wondering. It did sound like potentially you cut out. I wasn't quite sure there.
Yep.
So we'll be able to get back on in a few minutes.
His computer was really good on Wednesday, so kind of not.
Yeah, it might just depend on his connection and how many people are using the internet at the same time.
The problem is I got a faulty HDD that needs to be replaced.
How old is it?
Years old.
Oh, yeah. I think I probably need to do that with my laptop too, because my laptop I think has the one that my roommate put inside of it back before he even gave me the laptop, because mine broke, and it was the same one as my old one, just from a different company. And we talked about it, and he was like, I'll just give you it, man. Because I already got like 2 other ones that I use right now for different reasons, and they're both better than that one. So if you want it, you can have it. I was like, fuck yeah, man, I'll take it. I don't have anything anymore. And he's like, all right. So I got lucky with that. But I think I do need to put in new shit into it.
Yeah.
Because it's running really slow.
I was also going to say, like Raven also said in the chat, it's also helped us artists a lot. I mean, like,
what has? Sorry.
I think she's referring to the art contest, I assume. So,
nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's just a way for. Yeah, I guess it's a way to like get exposed to other artists and meet people as well. So I think that's what she's getting at.
Very cool.
Yeah, that is pretty smart, because I mean,
and also gives them exposure.
Not only that, it gives them a chance to actually compete for a design that people will use of theirs. I mean, nothing creates better innovation than competition.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see which design finally ends up being the one chosen. I'll be waiting with bated breath.
Is that going on? How long is that going on for? Till the 25th, right?
Did we lose Brett again?
I believe so, and I believe it's up until the 25th when the Kickstarter ends.
Okay. Yeah. No. That's cool.
That's actually a pretty reasonable amount of time too. Because it gives slow artists enough time to be able to design, because they're trying to make it perfect, and at the same time, it'll give people who have already put theirs in time to actually retweet and like show people off, like, hey, this is what I put in. Like, what do you guys think? And everything, and everybody would be able to critique it, do what they need to do, be able to help the artist in the long run as well.
Yeah, just like off the top of my head, like I've got here's a couple I know off the top of my head who have submissions in the work. There is Lenore, Troy, Antonella, Zeno, and someone from one of my discords.
Interesting. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And I think as we are speaking, we've got there are about 9 entries that have been submitted so far.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's a pretty good amount.
Yeah, it's pretty good, and still enough time for more people to put them in.
Yeah.
I mean, if I do, I probably won't put it in a submission, but with your guys' permission, actually, both of you, I'm working on a card game, like concepts for card games, called Prophecy. And I'm doing a lot of reworking, and I want to put in a lot of the Wikid characters into it. And I figured, why not right now to ask you guys, would you guys give me permission to use some of your characters, or just your main characters, as far as like for concept, or actually for creating cards for them?
I don't have a problem with it. How about you, Matt?
I don't have a problem with it either.
Nice.
All right.
Raven with the card game, yes, please.
I mean, I have a prototype already set up and everything, and I've had people who do not play card games, like tabletop games at all, play it, and they're like, dude, you have to make this.
So, like, what's it going to be more like, Pokemon or Magic?
It's more of a blend of like Magic the Gathering with a little bit of Yu-Gi-Oh.
Interesting.
I was a Yu-Gi-Oh kid. I did not play Pokemon or Magic.
I did not really get into Pokemon very much.
Really? I used to collect the Pokemon cards. I just never played the game. I just collected them.
All my coworkers play Magic.
Yeah, that's the thing. Me and Matt
play Magic.
Yeah, me and Matt play Magic too. Like we whenever we get to hang out in person, we always try to get a couple matches in.
For anybody who plays Magic and doesn't know, because you're living under a rock, right now they have like the biggest event for Magic the Gathering right now, called War of the Spark, and like it's changing a lot of the game in a sense because all of the packs right now they have all planeswalkers. Every single booster pack you buy will have a planeswalker in it because they're changing all of that up, and it's like holy shit.
Yeah, something a couple of my buddies told me about like early Magic was that there were cards that if you combined them with the right card, if you had the combination, they were completely broken.
Oh yeah. I have what I like to do is that I'll gather a lot of artifact type of cards that give your creatures buffs and strengths and everything. And I'll sometimes make my guys like indestructible. They can't be hit by anything, can't be targeted by anything, and they can just hit directly. And a lot of times when I do that, people are just like, fuck, dude, come on. But me and my roommate Ray, my best friend, me and him have a friend named Ryan who has this unstoppable Angel Soldier deck. Like, we've tried every deck we've had, nothing can beat it. Like, he's only lost a few times, but it's practically like by turn 3, if you don't have like one of your perfect plans going, you'll lose.
So I get the feeling that guy's deck is banned in tournaments.
No, we don't even really play for tournament. We play for fun, and because we're all into strategy. But like, we're all really into strategy games and everything else like that.
Oh, I bet it's just like I've also heard like the list of banned cards for tournaments is like very long.
Oh yeah, because some of their cards are so broken, dude. Like there's this Angel, and we know our friend has it. We know he does, because he's one of those people who will just type in a card and buy 4 singles.
So, Coffee and Critter says in the chat, if Maeve played a card game, what would she play?
Pokemon.
Really?
I was gonna say that. I could see Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, look, her favorite video game of all time is Wind Waker.
Nice.
I think you can more or less assume she has grown up playing Nintendo games.
Yeah. And not only that, that's a good little pointer to show her age in a sense, saying Wind Waker's her favorite game. You know, because that shows like she was around for the time when the Game Boy Advance, not Game Boy Advance, the GameCube wasn't around. But
not possible. She was born in 2005.
Well, if you think about it, she would have grown up with that style of gaming for a little bit of time, just so that this way they could be like, let her play on the GameCube. So this way she doesn't ruin the Xbox 360.
Well, she's an only child, but yeah. But yeah, actually like now that if you guys don't mind, this was something that I want to do a quick little screen share. This was something that Ginger sent me the other day. It was it was something that because Victor's a great artist, but he's also one of those artists that kind of he needs to be able to work off references for some stuff. So when we got to Maeve's room, we kind of realized did not exactly have a good plan of what would go in. So I just told Ginger, okay, you've been around this project long enough. I think you're kind of inside her head more or less, as you know what she would like. So just go and design what you think Maeve's room would look like. Like she turned in about 6 pages worth of concept art.
Smart. Very nice.
Can you where did Matt go? Can you white box me, by the way, Michael?
Your white box.
All right, good. All right, so I'm gonna hold up. There he is.
Yep.
Right, so this is one thing that is in Maeve's room, and a little Switch knockoff in there.
Very nice. Don't want to be sued by Nintendo, so always good to have a knockoff.
Yeah.
Ready to go.
Well, it ended up becoming it kind of ended up becoming canonical that she has like a quote unquote Nintendo Switch because that was for a Christmas pinup that I had Victor and Ginger work on. Victor drew in what was something that looked like a Switch, and we just kind of ran with it.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, very nice.
Great, that's such a great little fun thing to add in there.
Yeah.
A console often lays on top of the chest of what does it say?
of drawers. Totally not a Nintendo Switch.
No, totally not.
Yeah, it's about. I don't want to give away too much because I don't want to give too much away with her room because then I'm going to be spoiling a lot of shit.
That's fair. That's fair. You kind of like you want to leave it for the surprise of the moment when you're actually reading it. Yeah.
So yeah,
Can't give too much away.
we've done. But yeah, we have. I'm just impressed by just how well we have done so far with this Kickstarter, especially it being our first. I mean, we've been kind of told that there's no. We've been kind of told that we're probably more likely gonna succeed. What I did not expect is that we do this well right out of the gate.
Nice. Yeah, it's kind of like surprising it since it's your first time. It's like you're not used to getting all this attention in a way, I guess.
For one, and I think the thing that really puts all this in perspective, we made our first 1,000 within our first 24 hours, and that was on opening night and day of Avengers Endgame.
Damn, that's some tough competition right there.
It's gonna be wasted if we don't.
Oh yeah.
Make it here.
But you guys are making a strong start, and that's what's always important about these campaigns is making a strong start. You know,
We made a
campaigns that don't have
very
a strong
strong
start don't make it. You know,
We made a very strong start, and and actually, since we broke. When we broke 2,000, we also decided to add in another tier. So I'm just going to read this off. So we now added a $60 mythical collection tier. So this is for collectors and completionists. This gets you everything from the mythical union tier and print versions of all 3 retail variants and a special set of trading cards depicting each of the leading ladies designed by Rocio Rodriguez, Spanish artist on Twitter. I will... Okay, I'm gonna need to be white boxed again, Michael.
okay.
Yeah, because I gotta show some stuff I need.
Yeah, showcase some of that art, man. Come on.
Give it to us, man.
This is the one she did for Maeve. She is currently working on ones for Althea and Adobe as well.
Those are really nice.
Yeah, that came out awesome.
Yep.
You know what's funny? For my card game, I was thinking of the exact same pose for Maeve. The hood and everything with the hands being inside. Like, it's iconic for Maeve to be in that look. It's like the total, like, I'm too busy for you. Get out of here.
It's this look. It's her head's looking down and her eyes are kind of glancing up at you. It's kind of a very iconic.
Yeah.
Thing.
And actually, and another thing we also added were some stickers. There's these ones right here.
Very nice.
The initial designs were done by Danku, the artist, and they were colored and edited by Ginger.
Nice. Yeah, she did a good job on the colors. They both did a really great job on that. I love the chibi stuff. It's always so fun to see.
I want these on. I want to put these on my PC tower. And actually, one little detail that I really appreciate about Ginger is it's really only apparent once you get in close. I'm gonna zoom in. So you notice there's a little bit of a sparkle in their eyes.
I know, right? Jeez, that's attention to detail.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, show that depth in it, man.
Yeah, really. I mean, that's really cool.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it because the eyes, they do look really expressive.
Yeah. Oh yeah, just like it's why I appreciate working with Ginger. Like she has got, and that in fact that's what I can say a lot about the concept art she put in for Maeve's room. Like it's super. Like there was a lot of detail she threw in. It's just like man, it's just amazing how good she is, and I was lucky to get her. And I'm even more lucky that she loves working on this.
Yeah, that is cool. You guys were really kind of in a good position to come together and work as a team. It seemed like you were all in the right position for that.
Pretty much, yeah. It's just like, I cannot put into words enough just how lucky I got with Victor and Ginger. Like, I'm not kidding. I basically just rolled the dice on them, and it paid off. I don't know how many creators get to say that.
Yeah, no, that is pretty amazing. Now, we've talked a little bit about your campaign and where you guys are at with the progress of everything. What are you guys doing to kind of enter into that kind of final half of the campaign as we kind of get in there in the next week or so?
You want to take this, Matt?
Well, what we're doing is we're exploring more avenues right now for advertisement, which we were talking about earlier, with going into Reddit and other platforms. The overall game plan is to just hit those hard, hit the streams hard, and showcase some more artwork, such as I've got Beth working on some cosplay for Althea with characters who I think personify Althea's personality. I'm going to have her do a Claire cosplay, which will make an appearance as Siri, because it shows how Althea is more than willing to do what it takes to protect a child. Jon Snow, because she's a character that she doesn't see herself as a leader, and she doesn't really want to take the leadership, but she'll take it anyway if there's no other way. There's of course John Constantine, who Althea has been compared to quite a bit, and then there's Sherlock Holmes, where Adobe is going to be in there as Watson, because the two. It's really funny how Dan and I came up with characters that are based on the Sherlock Holmes stories, and they fit in so well.
Yeah, I could see that being a good fit with the whole mystery kind of thing that you have going on.
Yeah.
Sorry, Matt, you keep going.
Right. Yeah, so there's also going to be some more artwork that I'm going to be commissioning from Beth over the course of the campaign. If they come through by the end, that'll be great.
Now, do you guys have any stretch goals in place right now for the campaign?
Nah, not really. I guess about as much of a stretch goal as we've got is if we make more than goal, we're just going to fund it into making more comics.
So the more money you get, the more it helps the Mythoverse continue.
Yeah, that's about as much of a stretch goal as we have in mind. We're really more we're kind of more stealing the playbook of the Wanpool campaign, where we just introduce new things once we hit this milestone and that milestone. So we've got something in the works for when we hit 3K, but we're waiting to announce it. We're gonna. Actually, no, fuck it. I think we can announce it here. What we're gonna do when we hit 3K is we are gonna put up a replica of Maeve's hoodie that's gonna be handmade by Dan's wife. We will announce that once she has the prototype complete and we can show off what it will look like.
Yay.
Now, this is going to be a limited tier because, again, Dan's wife is making these by hand, so she can only do so many of them at once.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, handmade. That's a quality touch right there.
Yeah.
You're not just getting something
if we could find a way to mass produce these, that would be it'd be a different story. But yeah, it's gonna be one with limited seats to fill, so you better get in on it while it's there.
Get those.
And Raven says she needs that hoodie.
Oh, I don't doubt it. Yeah, that's gonna be a fun item.
And actually, I think I tweeted about this earlier, just because we had because Raven and Antonella, they made comments that just really kind of resonated with me, and just how important this campaign is. Raven, it came from Raven's first post when she submitted her entry for the contest, but how she related to Maeve, and Antonella earlier today talked about how Althea is basically the 2.0 version of herself.
No,
and I just said that is. That's what that is. that is basically why we're doing this, because these are characters that people deserve to have.
Well, what she actually meant by that she's Althea 2.0 was that there was another time where she said that she was Althea.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought she was somehow Althea's a 2.0 version of herself. Okay, I got
Right.
I got it wrong. I got it wrong.
It's fine. It's fine. That's why I'm here.
Actually, that leads me to wonder if you're gonna get that hoodie, Raven. Are you gonna cosplay as Maeve then?
Ooh, Maeve cosplay coming up. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I can already see the rioters going.
I'd cosplay as Maeve.
Nice. That's cool. And I actually wanted to ask you: is it going to be a unisex hoodie or for girls hoodie, or do you have that in mind yet?
I don't think we thought that. Right now, I think one of the prototypes Dan's wife is working on is for his daughter. So I think it's probably, I don't know. I think we probably could make this a unisex hoodie, but I'm not sure it would sell well with boys.
Do you think any guys would want to wear a Maeve hoodie?
Maybe with certain age demographics. I personally wouldn't, because I'm just not that really. I don't like cat ears for ears.
It would probably. I guess
the cat ears might be a bit of a
The design it would sell more with it would sell better with girls and women.
I could see
that.
Yeah,
I would say get rid of the top face and the cat ears, and then it would probably sell to guys.
You could do a guy version, I suppose, but it wouldn't be quite the same.
Yeah, 2 different versions for. But I mean, at the same time, that's only if you want to try reaching into that market. But I mean,
but
if it works for girls and women and guys want to buy it too, sure.
Right, like if a guy were to
probably get custom made.
Right, if a guy were to buy it, you wouldn't turn him away.
No, I don't imagine that we would, but it's just like Raven says, I know quite a few guys who would buy the hoodie with cat ears. I'm not saying they wouldn't. I never said they wouldn't, Raven. Just that it just seems more like it'd be more. It's more of a thing girls and women would buy.
Hey, who knows, right?
Sir, but then again, I don't know anything about fashion. Okay, so
we'll give you a break on that one.
I mean, not only that, I kind of think most of us right now grew up in the 90s, so maybe our sense of fashion isn't very good, because the 90s had very horrible fashion sense.
I remember
worse than me.
I remember when it was fashionable to wear your jeans backwards for about a month.
Oh, how would you be able to do
backwards?
That?
Oh, that sounds awful.
If you guys grew up in the 90s, then you're definitely old enough to remember grunge.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, a little bit.
You know what the stupidest thing about grunge is?
Huh.
A lot of the grunge artists who quote unquote developed the look. Most of them said we weren't wearing this stuff to be fashionable. We wore this because we were too poor to afford anything else. A lot of these guys were getting their clothes from thrift shops and Goodwills.
That was the way for them to save money, for them to be able to record.
They were the only clothes they could have. They were too poor to afford anything nicer, and so a bunch of hipsters and fashion designers just saw the look and decided, let's make that chic. And so they started just shipping people. They started selling jeans with holes in them already in them. And people paid money for that.
Not only that, they paid 3 times the amount you would need to.
It's so crazy when you really think about it.
I'll say how ridiculous the fashion from the 80s were. At least they looked like they were worth it.
That's pretty funny, actually. Yeah. That's an interesting point.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure what you paid for clothes back in the 80s, you were actually getting your money's worth, because those actually probably were those not only were expensive, they looked expensive too. Flannel and ripped jeans should not cost you $50.
Hey man, they gotta get their money. No, I'm just kidding. But I wanted to actually ask you you guys a question because I was just looking. Someone commented on Twitter about their Mythoverse logo. Which would you mind reminding me who created that again?
That was our friend Lost Lenore. She
What I
did.
thought, yeah.
Yeah, we asked her to push her to do it, and she created that completely by hand.
It looks amazing. Not only does it look incredible, but I wanted to ask you about the symbology behind it because looking at it, I'm looking at it now, and it almost to me looks like a tree.
It is
Really,
it's Celtic tree of life.
That's awesome. I think that's a really cool symbolism that you guys got built into that logo. I think it looks really nice. It's wait, am I showing it right now? I'm not, am I?
Hold on.
I thought I had screen shared. My bad.
Oops.
In fact, so yeah, I actually wanted to.
Don't be come on, Michael. This isn't. We're not a boomer show.
You kid and your technology. Oh.
You.
Get out of here, old Michael. Get out of here. What the heck are you doing? But so now I have the logo up on the screen, so you can see it. It's you said it was the Celtic Tree of Life.
It's a Celtic tree of life.
There's not just one.
There's like multiple different designs. That's how diverse this kind of art style is. Like
really,
and like I said, I have on Lenore's word. This design is completely 100% original and handmade. She did all this by hand herself.
That's incredible.
Yeah, work like that is it's very time consuming.
Oh yeah,
especially if you do it by hand, because like, ooh, man. I mean, I could see having like the mirror effect on. It looks like she might have that on with a vertical, but I mean, beyond that,
even
you can tell that it's handmade because there are certain spots that look a little off, but they're perfectly fine with everything else.
Yeah, I think it looks great. I think the design that you came up with was just perfect. Like,
oh yeah,
you see the intricacies of the weaving, or how they kind of go weave in and out of each other. I think it really came out perfect.
Yeah, what's really great about it is that because my rule with logos is go for impact. In fact, like that's what to me that's what a logo should do. Like it should just leap out and basically punch you in the face.
Yeah, no, it definitely does that.
Even though this thing is very detailed, it does it's not overwhelming. It's still like there's enough of a cohesive image that it still pops out at you.
Right. Yeah, and I think that the tree symbol is so important in many mythologies. So I think that's such a perfect image to use for the Mythoverse.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to bring that up because I thought that was really cool. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so I had another question that I wanted to ask you guys. What was it? I think it was about the campaign itself. I can't quite remember off the top of my head. But darn it. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
It happens.
Right. I hate when that happens though. But yeah, so you guys have the campaign going. You're at $2,000 as we said a little earlier with 21 days to go. Oh, I remembered it. Yes. Yeah, yay. I wanted to bring up the alternate ad that's coming out. I think it should be coming out if it's not already out, it should be coming out next week. Do you guys
Of course, yeah, I forgot about that.
It's coming out. It's gonna be it came out on a Wednesday, number 6. On a Wednesday, number 6. That one's coming out. Let's find out from Previews World. Let's see. May 8th. So it should be coming out in about 4 days.
Oh, that's awesome. So yeah, if you're good. So yeah, if you're keep your eyes up for it came out on a Wednesday, number 6. Then make sure you hit up your local LCS as if they sell alternate comics and get that code. So, and if you happen to find that ad, please snap a pic, tweet it out, and tag us. So
that would be great. Yeah, that would be so awesome to be able to see it out in the wild.
Yep.
Yeah, that's cool. I was really excited to be working with them again on getting some cool ads up for you guys. And that's a cool one. It's a full page ad, so it's a big spread. It's gonna look good, I think. So definitely check that out, and we'll hopefully be able to snag in some alternative readers who maybe haven't heard of your campaign yet.
Mhm.
That'd be really cool. So.
It will.
Yeah, hopefully that entices people to check us out, and it's good because from what I've heard, it came out on a Wednesday as one of Alterna's more popular books too.
I think so. Yeah, it seems like they got a really good following, and because it's an anthology series, it draws in a variety of people, of different readers.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's really cool. So yeah, I mean, what do you guys got going on for the rest of your this day today? Are you got more comic work to do?
After this, we've got Josh's stream. We will
nice.
we'll make sure to tweet those out, and after that, I also think we've also got a Nerd Wonder stream.
Really? Do you know what times you guys are going on live yet?
Josh is after this. Like we're gonna give ourselves like a 15-minute breather.
Jeez, you guys are going hard today.
And Nerd Wonder, I think we have a schedule for about 4 or 5.
Nice. That's great.
Yeah.
That's really cool to hear. And if you guys are done with your second stream by the time 7 o'clock rolls around, Matt and I are going to be talking with Scott about his comic Wrath. So it'd be cool if you guys could join us in chat if you're free, obviously.
Yeah, we'll see.
Who knows how long you'll go for it.
Although, actually, no. Wait. I think after Nerd Wonder stream, I'm gonna be heading out to lunch with my roommate.
Lunch at 7 o'clock in the evening.
I say
It sounds about like
it's a late lunch.
That's dinner, bro.
It sounds like lunch to me.
It's a late lunch.
Oh,
Super late lunch.
That's pushing it, man. That's pushing it.
Not really. I mean, you gotta look at it from me and Brett. Me and him work late.
For you. Let's see what the definition of lunch is. According to Google, the definition of lunch is a meal eaten in the middle of the day, typically one that is lighter or less formal than an evening meal.
It's called having a late lunch.
To me, that still sounds about right for 7 p.m. because it's saying like relative to the time you woke up to when you go to bed.
Matt, you eat dinner at like 11 o'clock at night. I don't think I'm going to be taking my advice from you.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's probably more relative for what you sleep and what you wake up. Because I mean, you can't say that to someone who works overnight. You know, their lunchtime is 2-3 o'clock in the morning. You know, so it's still lunchtime. It's just not a normal lunchtime.
I'll give you that. Fine. But we are getting close to the end of our hour here. We still have about 7 more minutes or so. But is there anything you guys want to talk about specifically with the Mythoverse, since you guys are in the middle of your campaign right now?
Let's see. Have we got anything left? Have we got anything left to say about it? How about Matt?
Any kind of any things you can tease maybe about the future of the Mythoverse coming forward?
I don't think. Yeah, I don't think we can tease anything that we haven't.
Come on, tease me, man. Come on.
I
think we can do it. It's fine.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Crossover later.
I mean, like, it's not like we can't tease. It's more like we can't tease anything that we haven't already.
Oh, so you guys are big teasers. Oh, okay. I see how it is.
No, I mean, like,
he's probably saying it might go into the
tease was that the biggest tease was that possible crossover event with the dragon. And we've already talked about that.
Game of Thrones? What?
No. He's talking about the picture with the dragon.
Oh, right. Yeah, that dragon.
Come on, dude. There was zombie dragons here, okay?
I got him in my head, man. It's hard to get Game of Thrones out of my head, you know.
Apparently so.
But no, I totally get where you're coming from with that. It's some things you've already talked about, and some things you got to keep close to the chest. So I totally get that. But if you don't mind, maybe we could talk, me and Matt and us as a group, we could talk a little bit about stuff that's going on in Wikid in general. We got the Wikid magazine coming up in late July. We got a lot of cool stuff coming in through that. We've got we talked about a little earlier. We have the Ori cover. We've got the Peter Simeti cover, and do you think we should announce the next cover, Matt?
Yeah. If you want, I can.
Sure, go for it, man.
Mr. Marvel is going to be doing one of our covers for the, I believe, maybe not the second, but the third magazine that we'll be publishing. Mr. Marvel is going to be doing a cover with all of the ongoing series that are happening inside the magazine.
That's going to be Endemic, the comic I'm writing, Cobalt, the serialized light novel series that Matt here is writing, Matt Trin, and also Call Me Chuck by Dan. So we're going to do a nice cover with all characters from all of those three series. So I'm really looking forward to that as well. Me and Matt are huge fans of Mr. Marvel and Wanpool. And so yeah, definitely looking excited to that. So we got a lot of cool stuff with the magazine coming up. A lot of cool covers planned for the first 3 issues. We've got some really, really cool interviews that we've got going on. I'll be breaking some news on the interviews in the next couple of weeks that we've got. But we've got some really big people in the indie comics community that we're sitting down and talking with about their projects. So I think people are going to be really excited about the interviews. And
just real quick, as a reminder for people who didn't happen to catch it yesterday, me and Michael started a new stream as well called Indie Spotlight. And what it is that we talk to other indie artists or indie creators that aren't affiliated with Wikid. So this way we can go ahead and show our appreciation to all indie creators and give them a chance to be in the spotlight. So that this way they can explain their story, explain if they have something in the works at that time as far as like an Indiegogo or Kickstarter, or even just where to find their published work as well.
Yeah, it's a good way. It's going to be a way to help reach out to more people in the community and as the title suggests, shine a spotlight on projects and creators that we think are doing some really cool stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're really excited about that series. In fact, I think it's okay to say that Mr. Marvel himself, who we said is going to be working on the cover, he's going to be our next guest on the Indie Spotlight show.
That's on Wanpool as well.
Wanpool, yeah.
That's awesome. Troy's good people.
Right? Yeah. No, we're really excited to talk with him about his project. Gotten so much attention and is loved by so many people. So it's going to be really fun to talk to him. So yeah, a lot of cool stuff. We're trying to expand with the YouTube channel and get some really cool shows going for everyone. Get some more solid content going in on a regular basis. Yeah. And so a lot of cool stuff. And as I said, the magazine it's packed. It's got articles. It's got we got dollar bin reviews up in the magazine. We got all sorts of stuff coming. So it's something to look forward to. And I think we're really excited about where that's coming.
And we also got, I think Salem's also contributing to it as well.
Yeah, Salem's going to be Salem LeBlanc on Twitter. He's going to be doing some
articles,
news articles, and features.
Yes.
Yeah. I also we're also taking out like ads.
Sorry, was that?
I think you just cut out. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh man. Because he was asking a question, but it was different. Didn't hear the end of it.
He's typing up in Slack right now, so I'll ask for you guys.
Yeah, that sounds fair.
But beyond all that, 2019, as we were saying in the beginning of the month, or beginning of the year, I should say, it is a year of expansion for us here at Wikid, and for those who wish to submit, you guys can always submit. It's just it will take a little bit longer for us to be able to get to you guys because we do have we are having our doors closed as of right now, but we are always looking at them. We are always looking at submissions, and
not as of now. We've been closed for a while.
Yeah. Well, that's why I said for right now.
I said you. For right now. I'm sorry. I heard right now. Okay.
Sorry, I might have mispronounced it. But it is only temporary that we are closed for submissions. But we do accept them so that this way we can go ahead and build up a list of who we wish to talk to. And if anybody has already been signed or published or decides to I'll go ahead and walk my own way with it. Totally fine with us. We're here to support all creators.
And not only that, but that's the comic side of things. On the light novel side, we're completely open. So people with light novels and projects of that nature, feel free to go ahead and
Or
submit to us.
really any novelization, we should say.
True.
Because I don't think Tank's doing an actual light novel. I think he's doing a real novel.
I believe it's somewhat illustrated, though. Is that right? Isn't I believe it is, because he has quite a bit of illustrations for that.
He's working with some artists on characters stuff. So
okay, so
he'll include that in the book.
Yeah, it could be like just a little picture gallery to help people get a good visualization,
right.
or even a light novel. So
yeah, but
I mean,
even if it
awesome
isn't that,
comes out.
we prefer illustrated novels, but we are open to novels of other types as well.
Yes.
But yeah, so yeah, I mean, like I said, we got a lot of cool stuff coming in the pipes, and I have a couple other surprises that I'll be announcing over the next month or so, and definitely look out for Barrel's issue. Definitely look out for Barrel's issue number 2, which is going to be coming out soon. Jeff Lasley, the artist who does Barrels, and I'm not sure you probably guys know the comic Lone Wolf. He does the art on those 2 projects, and so we'll be coming out with our second issue here pretty soon, and I'm really excited about this one. I've been wanting to get this one out for a while, so it'll be nice to have it done.
And little update for people who don't know or kind of forgot about it. We are working on Project R as well for Chapter 3. I am in the process of getting a few more supplies for what I need, and I will be working on that and hopefully have a preview for the people who go to AlienCon and come to our booth. They should be able to see a small preview of Chapter 3 if they kept up with the chapters so far. They'll be able to see a preview for what's going on, and then for those who are new, they'll be able to see a little bit more of an updated art style, but also kind of get a feel for what's going to be going on.
And not only that, but it'll be the first time that Project R chapters 1 and 2 will be available through our printer who does Jack Irons. So it'll be a new floppy format that's more in line with the comics that we do now, and so it'll be a good chance for people who haven't read the series to catch up with the next bundle that we'll be offering.
Yeah, I remember when we first did our original print run, a lot of people were like, "Whoa, this is very unique for the way you guys did," and we're like, "Is that good?"
Some people liked it, some people didn't like it. I noticed.
Yeah.
It was it's what's called a perfect so basically in comics, most comics are what's called saddle stitch binding, which is when they use 2 staples or a number of staples to bind the book in the center. But there's also one that we used for Project R initially, which is called perfect bound, which is they believe they use some sort of glue or adhesive to kind of more like a novel book. It has like a spine, and then the pages all are attached together at that spine, so there's no staple kind of thing in the center. But it's a little more costly, but it's a little heavier too. So we like the prestige format. It was kind of fun to use that, but we also got some people who were like, it's kind of a little too heavy for us. So it was interesting.
I will be right back, guys. Sorry.
Oh, no worries. We're actually just about to wrap up here at our end of our time here. But Brett, are you back with us?
Yeah.
Yay, you're back. So what do you guys want to tell all your fans out there?
Well, like I said, if you ideally, we'd like if you donated to the Kickstarter. If you can't, though, just spreading the word helps enough.
Nice, yeah, that's awesome, and like you said, getting that word out there is so important.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah, that's honestly, if you can't donate, just like I said, just telling people about it, that does plenty. You gotta tell as many people about us as you can, and use like whatever you got.
Mm-hmm. Use what you got, man. But no, that's great. I mean, that's a good thing to say. And Matt, if you had any kind of one thing you'd want to say to your fans or people looking forward to your projects, what would you want to say?
I'd have to say, I think that to my fans, thank you for your support. I hope never to let you down in terms of story. But I also hope that when it comes to certain things I'll be writing for Mythics, that you'll trust me enough to know where I'm going. It's not going. I'm not going to try to deliberately let you guys down.
That's great. You know, that's a nice thing, I think, for people to hear. Nice. Well, we are at the end of our time together. I'm sad to say that this is the wrapping up the end of another podcast episode. But where can people follow you guys online so they can follow more of your adventures?
You got my Twitter, which is Brett1106. I'll link it in the chat.
Oh man, the Brett clone just disappeared.
and of course we got Matt at
Matt Tran on Twitter.
Yep, I'll link that too. And Dan, you can find at Molly_Beans.
Yeah, we were sad to miss Dan today, but
he got back to us. It was family related. We can say that much.
Well, it's
not a problem.
First, yeah. So,
yeah. Hopefully everything's okay with it.
Yeah, hopefully everything's
okay. I think so. I don't think it was anything that serious, but
good.
I don't think it's dire, but it was serious enough he couldn't make it.
No, that's good. Yeah. Well, yeah. So I got this, and the can't forget the Mythoverse on Twitter. We've got to follow the Mythoverse.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. Cannot forget about that. I nearly forgot about that Twitter.
And if I might be so bold to say, the Instagram itself.
Yes.
Oh, that's not the Instagram link.
Yeah, I definitely need to give the Instagram some love too.
There we go.
I certainly hope nobody forgot about the Kickstarter.
They didn't. Thank you.
Okay.
It was one of the first ones they posted anyway. But yeah, we're good.
I know.
First and last.
We're covered.
Well, that's awesome, guys. I'm super. I mean, one of the things that me and Matt that drew us to your projects was the characters and the settings and just everything that you guys had going for it. So we've been big fans of the Mythoverse for a long time ourselves.
Oh yeah. Your guys' world seems so alive.
Yeah,
and
really
that's
does.
even before you guys have even published anything yet. So.
So yeah, we're definitely looking forward to seeing how this turns out and seeing you guys succeed and break past that goal. So we're gonna wish you much success, and we can't wait to see what you guys come up with next. Thanks again for joining us, guys. We really appreciate it, and thanks again for everyone who watched in the chat and participated. It's always a pleasure to have you guys here, and it's one of the best parts of doing these is to have the fan interaction with you guys in the chat. So I really appreciate all that. And we'll see you guys later tonight. I'll be chatting with Matt and Scott, and Druzel about the Wrath Kickstarter. So please check it out tonight on our channel at 7 p.m. Pacific time. And we'll see you guys in a couple weeks for another podcast.
All right, cool.
Everyone have a great